Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Flynn and I are back as we look at Rin, Daughters of Mnemosyne. Rin Asogi runs a private investigation agency in Tokyo's Shinjuku district, performing odd jobs. Despite attempts at a normal life, she finds herself constantly hindered by strange cases that come her way. Flea, welcome back, mate. And here we go
Always a
again.
pleasure.
This is definitely different, totally different from anything we've watched so far.
Yep. You should have heard Colin earlier when he was jumping up and down, clapping his hands.
No, it's just nice, like proper, like adult horror, not schoolgirls and stuff, but actually proper adults and the sort of twisted stuff that could be out there, and the supernatural element and everything else just rolled in. Yeah, I enjoyed this.
Took me a while to get into it, but when I got into it, there's actually even though kind of like there's even though it comes across that every episode is distinct and of its own, there is actually a plot running under this.
Mm-hmm. No, we're definitely in a universe. There's definitely connecting threads, and even the way they play with the timeline in this is very interestingly done. I almost feel like these first 3 episodes are Koki's journey as much as Rin and Mimi. But we start off, we've got Rin.
Yeah.
She.
I was agreeing with you, but instead of saying it, I was nodding.
No, Rin and Mimi, they run the like what's a private eye sort of firm. And it just seems to be that like they're trying not to do the weird stuff, but the weird stuff keeps coming. But an interesting thing, sort of. Sorry, go ahead.
I can say it. Yeah, no, carry on.
No, we start off just straight into it. Rin is like she's naked apart from like a jacket, you know, and she's getting chased by someone. And we have this whole like chase scene happening. This assassin looks a bit sort of technically advanced or something, you know those like how do you call that? Gears of War. Snake.
Yes, yeah.
You know, like Snake out of Gears Solid. Is it Gears Solid War or Gears of War?
Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. And that was the flipping one. God's sake, my brain's not with it.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like right. Okay,
that sort of hyper reality or sort of borderline.
Like whoever this woman is chasing me is obviously a professional.
Mm-hmm.
She is armed with the greatest weapon you can carry in any game ever, the shotgun.
Yep, and we don't know it's Rin to start off with. It's just a woman getting chased, but that jump, you know what I mean? She doesn't
that jump ranks up there with the jump from Zone 100.
Mm-hmm.
Where they leap across the building. The only difference between that jump and the jump in this is she managed to keep what few clothes she was wearing on.
Yeah.
You remember in Zone 100, flips off mid-jump.
Yep. Maybe if she had the jacket, the loss of the extra weight, she might have just made it over the edge. But I love this scene because it just sets you up for what's in the future. She's just sort of hanging by a thread. The assassin comes up, aims a weapon, and it's one of them delayed. So she falls, but we don't quite realize what's happening because she's crumpled on the floor, but the hand is still clinging to the edge. And then you see it slowly dropping off and then landing beside her. So the assassin basically shot her arm off to make her drop. And it was the way it was done, you know, you're not quite sure. You're sort of questioning, right, what's happening here? And then the realization hits. That's good storytelling. That's good visuals.
I would say once I actually stopped looking at the anime and started looking at the plot, I enjoyed this a lot more. Because when it first started, it was just kind of like, that kind of anime.
Oh, did you think we're getting another Legend of the Overfiend type thing?
Not quite.
Hmm.
But I thought it was going to be one of those animes that they put up. Well, I thought it was going to be one of those animes that they put out there for like people in the late teens, people in their early 20s, where the plot, i.e., the storyline, isn't the plot you're looking at.
See, I would argue that that's most of the schoolgirl stuff. Because that's, like Marika-chan's a perfect example of that. It's aimed at that sort of young male demographic. And it's just risque enough without going over the line. This is for adults. Like, they sort of play with that, don't they, a bit? Because they're
It's
both
kind of like
immortal.
it's kind of like her age is left a question,
Mhm.
but they're a lot older than she looks. But there's a very good reason for it. It's like I think this is like because of the length of the I think this is like because of the length of the episodes. I think this is something that went like straight to video, straight to DVD instead of being aired. Probably was aired sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's late night sort of. Like I said, adult after the watershed. Them have a sort of the running. It sort of flicks to Rin
Like
in the
this is
investigation.
this is the first moment when you think like something's up, something isn't right,
Mhm.
because it's like right. We haven't mentioned it before, but Rin wears spectacles.
Oh, the stamp on
And
the
like,
spectacles as
yeah,
the assassin walks
yeah,
off.
as she's climbing over the fence to take the jump across the buildings, her spectacles fall off. Because the last thing you see in the first scene is the assassin stamping on Rin's spectacles.
Mhm.
Cut to Rin waking up in bed. And the first thing she does when she sits up is she reaches out for her spectacles and they aren't there. Because she's like, Oda? Oh? What?
Yeah. This is where it's sort of, this is where we realize this seems to be a regular occurrence. And is it a dream or what? I mean, we're getting introduced to this character.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was thinking like, okay, is this a dream kind of thing?
But as we go on, we realize it's not.
It's not.
But then we end up, she's in the investigator, the office, and that's where we meet Mimi. But this is sort of the running joke throughout the series. She's always like, start of the day, water.
I actually thought when we got to episode 2, I wondered if I clicked on the wrong button. It was playing episode 1 again. He's like, Mimi, get me some water. Mimi walks in with a bottle and 2 shot glasses. Thus begins your language lesson. Because apparently, the Russian for water is vodka.
Kind of makes sense. No, I like their dynamic in it. They're set. They're a couple. They're settled.
They've
They have
obviously
this.
known each other and lived with each other a long time.
Yep. Like it's that speak without speaking type thing. They could convey something like with just a word or a nod. But yeah, that becomes a running joke throughout the series. Every day they start off with water.
Water.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, they finish off every day with water as well. These ladies are not shy and are very partial to the occasional drop.
Mm-hmm. As becomes apparent too. Which is another running joke. But yeah, we'll get this agency to get all these strange cases, and now they're sent out for to look for a missing cat, which you'd think would be the entire plot, but it ends up not being the entire plot.
How could you miss a cat that size? It was huge.
It was like a Maine Coon type thing.
I've seen dogs smaller than that cat.
But it's going through the streets, and then the truck, you think it's about to get squished. And I thought it was like some sort of supernatural cat, or like genetically enhanced, or had powers. Because next thing you see in the city is just a smoke rising.
Yep, it is. It's right. When there was the explosion, I totally thought it, because apparently there's like a fuel tank on a truck explodes. I straight away thought it was the cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought the cat had done like a force field or something, or something crazy, and that was going to be the adventure.
Just like the eyewitness was like, a truck nearly ran over a cat, but just before it hit the cat, its fuel tank exploded. Because everybody's like, oh my God, that's awful. Is everybody all right? And Wynn's like, which way did the cat go?
Yeah, and then this is where we get into the real plot of the episode, where we meet Koki, who's getting randomly kidnapped. Because, yeah.
Randomly kidnapped.
Well, he doesn't look like somebody that is worthy of kidnapping. If that makes sense.
And that's it. It's like, as far as characters go in anime, be they like bit parts, serious characters, heroes, villains, he's a bit too normal looking, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He just exudes like he's just a normal person. There's no reason to kidnap this bloke. Obviously, we'll find out why later on, but it's just that what are they kidnapping him for? And this is what becomes the plot anyway, because then Rin steps in.
The way when she walks up, he's like, excuse me a moment, and one of the goons just kind of like turns around and gives her a full-blown punch in the jaw. At that moment, I realised that Rin could take care of herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she couldn't, she'd like, the moment he threatened her, she'd be taking a step backwards and squealing.
No, well, that's always the thing. How hard can you take a punch as opposed to give one? Anyone can deal it out. How much can you take it? That's like current day action movie with girl bosses. You look at them and you're like, nah, a good punch to the face would destroy you. What are you doing? You see them, they're all like twig insects, and they're trying to throw around big hulking stuntmen, and you're like, this doesn't make sense.
The thing that annoys me with a lot of modern fight scenes is the fact that people will take a punch straight to the face and they don't even react. They don't even show pain. I've got to be honest. If I took a full blown punch like straight into my nose, yeah, I would cartwheel backwards. You don't stand for that. You flinch.
Getting punched in the face isn't nice. I always been there. But that's what I mean. It doesn't. Look at that thing they keep showing, that slaps game. Like most of them don't last like 3 rounds. It's one of them's going down.
I've got to be. I'm probably a terrible person for saying this, but I'd love to go and see that live.
I'll never see clips, and that's enough. But it's you see them, and they're not. One of them's going down. It's without a doubt. And that's them preparing, training, stealing themselves, taking a full slap to the face. This is in the street.
It's when you see a guy, regular guy, standing there. His opponent has got to be at least 250, 260 kilos with massive muscles in his arm and a hand like a hand the size of like a Christmas ham, and he just goes bang, and the guy goes down. It's like, It's like gladiatorial combat,
Mm-hmm.
but with more pain. Oh yeah, but at least, unlike in a lot of Hollywood fights, when the guy punches her in, yes, she goes down, but she also rolls with it.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't just collapse or just take it. She actually goes. The main reason she goes down is because she's rolling with the punch.
Yeah, and taking out the impact. But she's demonstrating she can look after herself. So therefore, her abilities are believable.
Hmm.
Even in anatomy, she's got believable abilities. So you can see this is somebody who's trained for a long time and it's instinctual.
This is I like this. I like the art style in this anime because whereas it's most of the characters are obviously anime characters, they haven't gone for the realistic look everywhere. It is actually a really realistically animated anime. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a really realistically animated feature because it's like although the characters are definitely anime characters, the world they live in looks realistic.
Yeah, it looks solid.
Like the cars look like cars, the laptops look like laptops.
Yep.
It doesn't take you can't be like light and be haha, I'm going to empty this data file and just instantly transfer anything across. Because the download bar gets stuck at 53 and I'm pretty sure it's there for the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, we'll talk about that later on. The specs of the computer. Oh my god.
Jesus.
That had me buckling. I was out of my seat.
It's actually they're going like it's only such and such and such and such and such a thing. But it's like
God, phones have more processing power now.
right. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Even though I'll call it, even though we're not quite sure what her physical age is. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How old Mimi is. Mimi is without a doubt the best girl, and I would buy her a burger any day of the week because she is the brains of the operation. She is the ultimate tech support for him.
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't do field missions. She's purely behind the desk.
I don't think Rin would allow. You've got to be quite honest. Most places where private detectives have to go to get information and things like that, I don't think Rin would have a chance of getting in.
Or Mimi, you mean?
Mimi, sorry.
Yep.
I'm surprised to let Rin in, to be quite honest.
But needless to say, Rin takes care of the henchman. She meets Cookie, invites him back, and then they proceed to get him absolutely wasted.
It's like if only more people like that. It's like yes, we've got we have serious business together. There is something really serious we need to work on, but that can wait until tomorrow because we're getting rat faced.
Yep.
I actually think more business would be done.
No, that's God, that was the thing about the army. Actually, you used to like when you work hard, play hard was the thing.
Mm.
No, I mean, so then when it was time to actually go for it, like God, what was it?
Mm.
We were coming back. We had been in like a 3-week exercise.
Yeah.
And we were leaving. It was it a Friday or a Saturday? But anyway, it would worked out that if we got back, weapons in the armory, we could get out in the town. So obviously they bring coaches back, when we're traveling from like training camps back to base. We're all like weapons in the coach.
Oh my god.
Cleaning like crazy while we're in the coach, you know what I mean? Just because that's what's about right. We could get out tonight because by the time we get back, we'd worked it out. It'll be this time. By 8 o'clock, if we all get weapons in and showered and our kit sorted, we could be out. And sure enough, by 8:30, we were in taxis and heading into town. You know what I mean? Everything. It was the most efficient we'd ever been.
Oh, do you know what a soldier's life? It's
Just things like that there make me laugh. It's never about done this. It's those little stories that makes it worthwhile. But it's that sort of thing. Like, yeah, we could get out. Yeah, if we think it right, that we're not going out tonight, well, it'll be too late. Right, motivated. Let's get done. You know.
I think that Rin and Mimi are being a lot cannier than people give them credit for here. Because what is the easiest way to get someone to open up about themselves?
Don't interrogate them. Just spend the night and drink.
Yeah,
And,
get them drunk. And what we've seen so far, it's pretty obvious that both Rin and Mimi can take a drink.
Mm-hmm. And Koki was
But
broken.
I think they're getting Koki drunk so that he opens up about himself.
Yeah, they're trying to find out what's happening, but also that's a better way to do it. You know, just rather than going and interrogating him, and he's obviously been through a traumatic experience. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to be kidnapped, especially if you don't believe that you're in a field that deserves it. So Koki obviously isn't a spy, so he's not expecting goons to turn up. But if you've got like goons and suits and equipment and highly organized, like it's not a street gang. They were professionals that turned up to grab him. Yeah, you're not getting anything out of him. He's freaked out. So yeah, just get him drunk. Everything's fine. Just right, we're having a laugh. We'll deal with this in the morning.
Give him the world's best relaxant, which I wouldn't call vodka, because I'm not a fan.
Well, they didn't. They moved the whiskey. They got serious. You know what I mean? The right thing for the right time.
Yeah, but the fact that Mimi can just like neck vodka straight out the bottle and chug it impresses me.
Yeah, I wouldn't fancy a night out with those two. They'd kill me.
Just thinking about it's making my liver ache. Oh no, been there. Don't need to go there again. Thank you.
But we get a second attempt, so that straight away sets off that Koki is somebody important, or he has something important, or he knows something important. These people are determined to get him, so it wasn't just a chance encounter. It's not a mistaken identity. Yeah. They want Koki.
But I love the fact that you get another chance to see Rin proving how hard she is. Because before in the first one, when she was knocked down, she attacked from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Right, she attacked from the ground. She kicked. This time she surrenders, and then just kind of like absolutely curb stomps them.
Yep, and then that
also, what is that chain whip thing she's using?
I don't know, but it looks nasty. These are like specialized weapons. This is urban combat.
I was going to say that's not. It's not. Right, there's an old saying, it's not such an old saying, but there's an old saying. You've got 500 men, yeah, and no time. What would you arm them with? Swords or baseball bats?
No, baseball bats.
Right, to use a sword requires training because you have to hit with the edge. With a baseball bat, all you've got to be able to do is swing. So it's like it's obvious. It's like they're kind of like they're using like the first half of this episode to show you that whoever Rin is, she's done some serious training.
Mm-hmm. But all her weapons are concealed. You know, it's not like she's going around tooled up, and it looks as if she's tooled up. She's designed for the urban environment.
But like, is it me? I don't know if you noticed it, but like she attacked the guy. She attacked the guy who was outside the car, pointing the gun at them with like the world's smallest throwing knife. But the guy in the car, she kind of like hit him with there's a blade on the end of it. She kind of like hit him with the chain whip, looped it around his neck, and then kind of like jumped down by the side of the car and basically throttled him. She seemed to get rather flushed while she was throttling him.
No, it's exerting.
Go back up. No, not that kind of flush.
All right, she's enjoying herself, but too much.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
But That was another time when I was like, "Hello, is this that kind of anime?"
No, well, there's a heavy sexual element all the way through it, but I don't think it takes away. I think it adds to it. Like I said, this is a proper adult anime, which I'm glad for, because
It
a
is.
lot of
It's
them
been like,
dance around a lot of them use it. A lot of them use sexuality, but they dance around the edges.
it is.
And
It's definitely at least one age bracket higher than Death Note.
mhm. Yeah, like with Misa, they toyed with the idea. They hinted and suggested, but Ren's just straight out there. Like, for example, if Ren appeared instead of Misa, El and Kira both just have given
They
up and
they
joined her.
they they wouldn't they wouldn't have stood a chance.
No, they wouldn't. Both of them be absolutely destroyed. So, yeah, that's the real woman. You know what I mean? But yeah, after that, that's when they decided to try and find out. And this is where we see Ren at work. You know, she's basically like Sam Spade type character. You know, private eye going through. She's
Yeah,
over.
when she came on and she was chasing the cat, I was like, haha, a jobbing detective.
Mhm.
You know, takes any case that comes along to put money on the table to pay the bills.
Yeah, that's what you do.
But this is to see just how good she is at her job.
Another
I like the
character.
way, yeah, I like the way they go to Coach's parents' house, and he's like, I don't feel like this is my house. It's like it's my house, but I don't feel like I belong here. I don't feel like I grew up here. His mum literally comes out the house and walks straight past it. I know they're standing behind a lamppost, but would a mum really not spot her son that easily?
Nah, something a bit off about it. But then that's
Well,
the
where I was
there's a
concerned,
borderline supernatural element to this as
yeah,
well.
it's kind of like also a couple of times by now we've seen these weird bubbles
Mhm.
floating through the air. It's like there's someone off to one side, and like Vin sees them, but it seems that nobody else sees them.
Yeah, and that becomes important because this is the difference. This is what explains the universe. But I love it when we meet Tomatsu for the first time, the detective.
The detective, man, it's like he's there with carrying what he's got, and she just leans out and goes, "Woohoo, Tomato!"
He's trying to do the park bench, the newspapers and the whole spy thing.
Mm. Oh wait, I've jumped.
No, 'cause that's the part of it, when she's working through, like she's going to meet these people, she's getting information.
Mm.
But it's when she meets with Tomatsu, we realize that this is an important character as well. Take note, because the way she deals with him is different.
Mm. It's like that. That's just it. It's like when she is that in this one? No, it's in a further one. That's in a later one. But it's like, yeah, it's like every person she talks to, every person she meets, she has a different persona with.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering, like, has she got different faces that she wears when she's dealing with different people?
No, we all do that. That's just dealing with people. If you've got an expanded range of context in your life, like this channel, for example, the type of conversation I have with you is different from like Cameron or Chris or Dale. You know what I mean? It's not a different face, it's just a different
Mm,
we speak to each other slightly differently because we've got different personalities and react
mm,
differently. There's certain jokes Cameron and I do that I'll not do to anybody else. And invite, you know what I mean? We'll talk about certain things that I won't talk about because just with different people you do slightly change because we're all different. And when you get to know someone and you've been dealing with people for a long time, you sort of learn there's ways that'll, person respond to you better than not. If that makes sense. That's just,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just dealing with people and friends and not, yourself. Be ways you talk to people, and it's completely different. So I don't think she was doing anything drastic. She's just, she knows these people, so she knows how best to talk to them to basically get to the point because they've been there, they've been interacting for so long.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that as well as knowing how to interact with them, she'll also know how to manipulate them.
Yeah, that's part of the skill set. I mean, the whole point is to avoid the combat, is to get prepared, and is that not the whole point of a good private eye, is to have that network of people? And not to be going in as if it's the first meeting, I mean, the contact's been established, so it's a case of, with efficiency, turning up to get out as quickly as possible to get on with the case. Where if you have to start the preamble every time, you get nowhere. But yeah, Tomatsu, he is in love with her. He is completely infatuated. No if, buts, or maybes.
Only slightly.
It's funny as it goes on as well, but that's obvious from day one. And then we've got Mimi in the background trying to find out information with dial-up networking and floppy drives.
Amazing.
I'm just like, wow.
Wait, that's after the party, whatever the party is. It's a bit of a swank do, whatever it is. Because Rin dresses herself up to the nines.
Oh, this is what they found out about the pharmaceutical company, isn't it? And they're trying to this the gala event. And then they're going to hotel rooms.
I like the way when she's going in, she's wearing a very tight, body hugging, very low cut red dress. Hair done, makeup, jewelry, immaculate, everything perfect. And she walks into the guy. I can't remember what she says to the guy on the door because I was distracted. Because being a very, very polite woman, because she was meeting him for the first time, she bowed slightly, and I'm pretty sure you could see her belly button. At which point the bloke just basically goes, come in.
Whatever you want. Yeah. Isn't how it works?
Pretty much, pretty much. But it's like she literally gets there into the party, and then it cuts to a scene of Rin in the shower. It's like, wait, what's going on here? She finishes in the shower, steps out wrapped in a towel, and there's this slightly overweight businessman lying on his back in his underpants, asleep on the bed. And now it's time for 90s dial-up. It's best depiction of a 90s laptop I have ever seen. The damn thing is like 3 inches thick.
You could stop it. So that they were laptops back in the day, and they cost minimum 800 quid.
Yeah.
Like it was an investment.
You knew if someone either worked for big business or was a massive computer nerd or had lots of money if they had a laptop. I remember the days of the 386X33. The good old days. The golden age of PCs. Am I kidding? But it's absolutely the fact that it's like she has to unplug the phone to plug the computer into the internet, and then she's downloading things, and then the progress bar just isn't moving.
Because that's what it was like.
Like, welcome to the 90s.
But the thing is, there was still hope that you could copy massive loads of data.
Yeah.
But look, now you need terabytes to do fuck all.
What do you need terabytes to open up a Chrome tab?
Yeah, and it doesn't do anything spectacular. Things have got worse. Like back then, there was a hope that computing was going to progress.
Yeah,
And
but the thing is, computing has progressed, but everything that you need, like back in the day, you had your computer, and it's like your computer would struggle with certain things because they were too big, too too big, too resource hungry. Yeah. So they invented bigger, more powerful computers. Unfortunately, as they invented bigger, more powerful computers, they invented bigger, even more resource hungry. I mean, like the last computer I had before the one I'm using now, if I tried to open any more than 5 Chrome tabs, it would start to struggle. Just because Chrome is awful.
well, I'm discovering that with Windows 11.
My opinion. I would say Edge isn't quite as bad, but it still has its problems. But I'm not smart enough to swap to any of the other operating systems, and I'm definitely not buying a Mac.
No, God, no.
But it's brilliant. It's kind of like it brought watching her just kind of like picking the laptop up and looking at the download bar, just made me smile and brought back many happy memories of waiting like an hour and a half when you clicked on it with a picture of a cat.
Back in the day. And then it's this bit in the hotel room where she encounters the assassin. And there's something supernatural or off. Like it's not the assassin's almost teleporting in.
Yeah. Like she just appears.
Yeah, it's not just stealth. That's like there's something else going on here. But obviously, I thought we were going to get a replay.
I like the fact that this is the first time you get a hint that Rin is something beyond special when the assassin starts going on about like is it true you can't die?
Yeah. But like I said, I thought we were going to go back to the opening scene, and I thought this was going to be the chase.
That's it. Yes. So did
it turns
I.
Out this is the second encounter
Because it likes to kind of fool you with that in several times, because it's like there's several times where it's like Rin has like no or very little clothing on, because it's like during this entire scene she's got a towel wrapped around herself because she's just come out of the shower. And so is this it? Is she going to like grab a coat and run for it? Not this time.
No, and then that reinforces that was Rin at the beginning, and this is what happens. This is her life.
It's obviously not the first time it happened, but this time Rin is successful. I did wonder for a moment what happens to the again. It's another really good fight.
I like the fight sequences. They're believable. they're believable. You're dealing with highly skilled people, and it's like one false move is all it takes for one to get the upper hand.
Yeah.
And for example, with the goons, people like that don't stand a chance against people like this. They're operating on another level. And I think that manages to communicate it to you through the whole fight scene. And the fact that the assassin isn't phased by the fact that she's already killed Rin, and Rin's still there and intact. And she just goes for it again.
Like I say, it's obvious. It's obvious this isn't the first time they've done this.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't be the last.
But they get the information, and it's all related to this pharmaceutical company.
You notice it always seems to be a pharmaceutical company.
It's because they're evil bastards. An industry that's meant to be for the good of mankind, it's turned out to be the complete opposite.
Well, it's good for mankind if you can afford the prices.
Nah, it's a dirty, dirty business. I feel bad at the moment having to take ibuprofen on a regular basis. I feel like I'm giving into the system.
The alternative is worse.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's me not being able to move. Like, but yeah, they realize this is where it all leads to. So Rin decides to take Koki with her to jog his memory and get to the bottom of everything. Did he work there? Did he leave with information? Does he have amnesia? This is all the stuff that's going through their minds.
I've got to be honest. This scene did make me. This scene made me laugh several times. I enjoyed Rin putting on the I'm just a dumb employee, like mask for a little while. Properly smarming up to the security guard to get the things that she wants.
Usually when you do a character like Rin, if they do her like a girl boss, she wouldn't be able to do that. She'd be too snobby. But the fact is that you'd believe that she could be a cleaner. You know what I mean? And she just wears the role.
But like I say, there are many different types of girl boss, and they're all not like the faceless, two-dimensional Western version.
Yeah, but I don't use... No, there's... Girl boss is not a complimentary term. I mean, you can have competent... Like, remember back in the days, the femme fatale, you know what I mean? That was a positive role model. Or
yeah.
Well, but girl boss is not.
I would say it's like the femme fatale was a positive role model until people decided it wasn't.
Yeah, but that's what's gain. They tried to deny any of these sort of archetypes exist before the girl boss. And I just like to point out when, here's a competently written character. That happens to have a nice set of boobs and a lovely bum. But at the same time, doesn't take away. But
it's like think of a computer game. Like, it's a computer game out there called oh no, Eve, what are you called? Anyway, there's a computer game out there, a Korean game, and
Genshin
the main
Genshin Impact.
No, it's not Genshin. No, it's not Genshin. It's not Genshin Impact. It's a single player game. But the main character, Eve, is an absolute bombshell. Yeah. And all the various groups were like, rah, 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 you're sexualizing women, rah, 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 there's no way a woman could look like that. And then the actual company that made the company that made the game introduced the world to the Korean model the girl was based on.
Have you seen Korean models? They're gorgeous.
They are Korean ladies are very good looking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being diplomatic.
No, they're absolute stunners. Like
But it's
almost,
just got
almost bordering on unrealistic.
yeah.
You're always like,
But
how do you look like? Are you drawn? Are you photoshopped? Do you know what I
they,
mean?
they look like plastic dolls or porcelain dolls. But the thing is, it's like we're not allowed to have we're not allowed to have a hero like that. I'm actually surprised Lara Croft is still a thing.
Well, sure. Look what they've done to Lara Croft.
Because
Look,
it's like you're
look
not,
at the rendering they've done with it. That's why the games have absolutely bombed.
yeah, they like Lara Croft is no longer a woman, a teenager.
It's yeah.
You aren't you aren't allowed to have like voluptuous women in computer games anymore,
But
unless they're the bad guys. Because look at them, Lady Dimitrescu from
Resident Evil
Resident Evil Village. All the most beautiful women in that
that's the hardest level because you're meant to run away from her.
were evil. Where the bad there was
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the hardest part of the game because you're meant to run away from her. And it's like, Mama.
It's like no one to look.
I'm dead. Mama. I'm dead.
Right. There are two really good mods for that game on PC. The first one is every time you see her, every time you look at her, her hat gets bigger. So you just end up with this giant hat. The other one involves a fly swatter. And Lady Dimitrescu's bum. So you can creep up behind her and hit her on the bum with a fly swatter.
I need to get a new computer so I can start playing. There's a lady for Requiem, they've got a Lady Dimitrescu skim for funny enough, she's called Eve, the protagonist in that game. And if you look at her physicality, it's like, no, that's not going to work. That's going to be insulting.
I'm gonna say I saw you can get various figures of Lady Dimitrescu. Right. Most of them are like $1,000, right? They are absolutely amazing.
For $1,000?
$1,000.
They should come in sex doll size? Because that's what I'd be expecting if you're paying that amount of money.
Let's have a look. No. This one is 1,500 quid, and it's 1 in 4, so it's quarter scale.
Ooh. Okay, that's a bit keen. God, I was even balking at the Huntrix figures.
Yeah.
They're like 200 quid each. The ones that have just got released or getting released next year.
This is 1,500 quid. It's 35 inches tall. For people who don't work in British, that's 88.9 centimeters.
Yeah, that's serious figure.
That's a serious collector's figurine. But there will be people out there who buy them.
Oh, of course, without a doubt. And but anyway, talking of figures, this is the case where Rin's figure works against her because, of course, you can't.
What a great segue! I'm just saying.
Yep. You can't do a proper raid on a evil corporation unless you get into the air vents. And she's been, as usual, cool and casual and suave. She gets Koki to light the cigarette for her so she can blow it and we see all the lasers.
When she picked up the cigarette, I already knew what she was going to do with it. I've seen enough of these and played enough games that it's like, I knew what she needs that. She needs that.
And I thought we were going to get another entrapment scene.
Yes. It was a possibility, but I laughed so hard at this scene.
It's when she realizes, well, her bum is going to set off the alarms.
Like that, they're in the air vent. She lights a cigarette. You know, I was like, Cookie lights a cigarette, hands it back. She takes a pull on it, breathes out the smoke. 3 infrared laser beams going across it, and she tries to squeeze under it, and it's going really, really, really well until it gets to her butt, which is just that little bit too tall, shall we say, to get under the beam. And it's weird. The alarms go off, and there's all these flashing lights and the chaos. So she doesn't even turn around. She just says to Koki, "Don't say a word." Oh, I love it. I love it. Tense situation broken by humor. Awesome.
Yeah, but I think the humor sets us up for the next scene, which is just
yes.
Oh my god. We meet the doctor.
You notice apart from a couple, none of the bad guys have ever given names.
No, that's it's fair enough. But she remains actually. Funny enough, I saw a clip from the original Crow movie pop up.
Yeah.
And is it that one? No, it's the second one. No, it is. It's Big Top and it is those two that break the prostitute. Is that the first one?
God, it's been that long since I've seen it.
Yes.
So I have no idea.
Yeah, him and his half sister that break a prostitute, they basically kill her, you know what I mean? She does her magic stuff, but they're basically, that's the doctor. She is like, this is all play to her. She has been given money and resources to indulge in her darkest fantasies, but she just happens to be producing the results as well. But she openly has this playroom where, and I use that word lightly or ironically, but Ren's tied up to a stake and she is just getting absolutely brutalized. But it's not even for information, because the doctor gets into her gets into all the kinky gear. This is just pure gratification.
I say that's it. She's simply doing it because she can.
Yeah.
And yeah.
She's pretending it's an interrogation, but then she gives up the pretense after like a minute or two.
I was going to say she's telling Rin everything, not the other way around. She seems slightly annoyed that Rin has been keeping like Koki all to herself, when Koki obviously belongs to her. Because spoilers.
Koki is a clone. And the reason Koki doesn't feel himself is because he's a clone of himself. Koki didn't work at the corporation. He was just a university student that just got randomly kidnapped for experiments. Nothing else, nothing more. He was just the wrong place, the wrong time, and he got grabbed.
Koki isn't a person, he's a product.
But we just see the absolute depravity of
it's the way she entertains, the way she it's not like it's like I say, it's not so much an interrogation, it's an entertainment. Like I say, she's just doing what she's doing because she can and because she enjoys it.
Yep. And even when the wheel ran away, the guards are like, "Oh, flip! She really went to town in this one. Like, she really went for it. Like, more than
damn." Yeah, and right, I was okay with the interrogation scene. It's what comes next.
The after effects, because
The immortal Rin kind of like wakes up from being dead and has to deal with everything that the Doctor has done to her.
that's just everything's been inserted, and it's not jewelry; it's like
Oh,
shards of metal and
yeah, right. The Doctor is a piercing fan, and if it can be pierced, he has pierced it. And it's like Rin's way of getting rid of it is just to grab hold of these various piercings by the handful and yank them out as hard as she can. Which did make me curl my toes a little bit.
yeah, especially the final scene.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
throws the stuff out of her labia. You're like, and you hear the
It,
splosh of the blood as well.
it doesn't show you. It doesn't show you anything. She just kind of like it's viewed from the side. She just kind of like drops her hand in between her thighs, and then there's just kind of like a noise like meat ripping, and she just throws this gob of metal and bits of metal and blood on the floor, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
because
this is where suggestion, right? This is why I am not a fan of like the torture porn and stuff, because this is the remove letting your imagination fill in the blanks.
Oh God, my imagination is far more capable of creating terrible things than any movie director out there.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So that's why I don't like torture porn, because it's just doing shock for shock's sake, and it's once you get immune to it, that's it. But this, it's done in shadow.
Mm.
It's done through her body language. This is she takes a breath before she does the last one. You hear that meat ripping, but also you hear when it drops to the floor the clunk and the slosh, and something bad. Like, that's not a healthy sound. And then it cuts away and just leaves your mind to process that, and you're like, oh,
It's
like
like it's yeah, yeah. It's very well done.
yeah. And once again, that's horror. That is the essence of horror. Is because the definition of horror is that a medium that leaves an uncomfortable feeling with the viewer. It's that uncomfortable fear and terror. If you don't feel uncomfortable after that scene, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You're
Yeah, there's something. I mean, my problem with a lot of modern horror is the fact that, especially the mainstream stuff, so much of it is it's telegraphed, but it's telegraphed in a way that means like, oh yeah, obviously, like, okay, it's like the music's getting creepy, the shadows are getting darker. There's got to be like a slasher or a murderer or a monster or something coming up soon. Oh yeah, there it is. This telegraphs it, but it telegraphs it in a way that you're like, no, no. She's not going to do that. We don't need to. Oh God, no, she's doing it. Oh Jesus!
But it also then reinforces the previous scene of what was done to her. When you get the magnitude of what was done to her, and realizing that this was not done for interrogation purposes. This is somebody with a
this is just somebody with a kink enjoying their kink.
Yep.
It's like you're not the person we're after. It's like Rin, you are a pain in the ass. You have caused us a lot of trouble, but in the end, you have brought the person that we were looking for back to us. This is your reward, and I am going to enjoy this.
Now, the Doctor didn't know she was immortal.
No.
I'll put this thought to you. What if she knew she was?
She'd have ended up like the woman we meet in episode 3.
Yep.
Is it episode 3? Episode 3.
Yep. She would have become her plaything. That would have been it.
Yep, she'd have become her puppet, for want of a better term.
Nah, actually, it reminds me. Did you ever read the Witchblade cartoon comics?
I did. I've read some of the Witchblade comics.
Do you know the one that he was immortal?
Yeah.
And he was always sent out. I can't remember his name. But every time he messed up, he got punished.
Oh.
And the main antagonist, he always found new ways to punish him because it got more extreme. Because God, I remember, like, I started off him getting bits hacked off and stuff, but he regenerated, so he had to come up with new inventive ways. I just remember him being in this, like, he'd get put in this suit because he tried to get the Witchblade again, failed in his mission, so he's getting punished for it. And the guy had him like strapped, to the water pressure. Like, he had him in this suit, and the water pressure valve into his mouth. And you just did that, right?
Well,
I've now come up with a new way to punish you.
That's an interesting way. I kind of like that. I've got to be honest. I kind of like that one.
Yeah, it didn't show you. You know what I mean? It just showed you the setup, and then a cut scene.
Wow.
And this show reminds me of that. If the Doctor had realized Rin was immortal, it wouldn't have went Rin's way. You know what I mean? And that's also the lingering horror as well, that they're not showing immortality to be a benefit.
Yeah, got to get it right. Immortality just means you can right. Immortality in this case just means you can die over and over and over again. Because proper immortality is you won't die as long as nothing kills you. But this is like
regeneration.
This kind of immortality is a curse. It's like it's not a blessing.
No, and it's subtly weird, without being over dramatic or stuff like that.
Because it's shown it's shown several times in this that it's like when Rin gets hurt and Rin, because it's like Rin has the ability to like regenerate. So if she gets an arm chopped off, she will grow a new arm. With all the pain and agony that you think that would cause. It's not kind of like, my arm's going back. It's
yep. Slowly in reverse of what happened. Yeah. And it kind of makes sense why they drink so much.
You need something. Living in existence like that with this kind of thing happening all the time, you need something to blot it out. Which if you think about it, the drinking sessions, the drinking sessions, it's always kind of funny. It's always, there's a slight comedy behind them, but it's always Mimi who starts them. What has that girl been through? Because at the moment, up to the end of like episode 3, Mimi hasn't really done a lot, been a lot, or actually, like, as far as the plot is concerned, said a lot, has she? There's one instance in, I think it's like episode 2, where she says she's afraid.
We'll get that. Yeah.
But that's like kind of like, apart from laughing and joking and being Mimi, that's the only kind of like emotion that's only the second emotion we've seen come from her.
But she is a good partner because that's what she's doing. She is regulating Rin. Rin's the one at the spear tip out, dealing with stuff head on. She's the support and bringing her back. But yeah, this plays out basically. Rin then is back in the game. She goes to the biohazard zone.
It's kind of weird
And
because the assassin says, like, you know, I hope this. The assassin's like, I hope she doesn't go into like the biohazard zone. Cut to the sign of the biohazard zone as Rin runs past it.
mhm.
Because you're right. You're wondering again. Is this going to be kind of like? Is this going to be like jump to the to the start of the episode again? Because she's running through the laboratories wearing nothing but a lab coat, which again is very similar to what she's wearing at the beginning.
Yep. That was the minute I realized it was Rin in the beginning. I think it was. Also, she was getting a new pair of glasses. I think give me a hint, but yeah, I thought it was going to be one of these loop line stories, but it turns out that was just a different encounter, and it just let us know this is day to day. This is their life.
This is it. These two have done this so many times before, and they're going to do it. Like I said, they're going to do it so many times again. I actually was. When this episode started, when episode 1 started, I actually thought that Rin, the character running away, was just some victim, and the main character was going to be the assassin.
That's what I didn't know about the main character being an assassin. I thought Rin was maybe going to investigate that, but I didn't realize it was Rin at the beginning. Just they did it really cleverly as well with the shadows and stuff, so you didn't quite.
Yeah, it was. It was all very.
The only character you saw clearly was the assassin.
I want to say clandestine, but to be honest, it's like blasting at things with shotguns in the middle of the night. There's nothing clandestine about that. But yeah.
And this is what we find out about Ward B.
Ward B.
Basically, what they're using the cloning process to manufacture a form of pharmaceutical, but it also has side effects. And basically, Ward B is just zombies. It's just all the ones that have went wrong, all the clones that have just turned out gnarly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why keep them? Who knows? But you can't be a proper evil corporate entity. Let's go with that because
yeah.
You can't be a proper evil group unless you keep your own zombies. Like you don't even put them down. You have to have your zombie holding facility for reasons.
Well, it's like after you've spent all that money on like creating them, even if they've gone wrong, it's a shame to get rid of them.
Yes. Oh, it was handy. And this is where obviously Rin encounters the Doctor again, but this time tables are turned. I love the way like the first slap and the Doctor's down and crying.
But it's like she comes across as like a bully kind of character. To be like a stereotypical anime villain, all she needs is like the big ringlets that come down the side of her head that they call it drill hair. But every single like comic anime villainess has them. But she I mean, it's like she's a typical bully, isn't she? She's absolutely brilliant when she's calling the shots, but when she's on the other end of the stick, that's it. She's powerless.
Yep, and that's why obviously it's illegal to tell kids now to stick up for themselves. Apparently you just have to take it. But if you've ever got a group coming at you, you go for the leader. You go for the biggest one, and you don't have to win. You just have to smack them hard.
That's it. I remember watching. I was watching a documentary set in an American prison, and it's like one of the inmates they were interviewing during this documentary. He'd been filled in so badly. It's like he couldn't see because his eyes were so puffed. His nose had been spread across his face. Apparently his jaw was broken. Both his cheekbones were broken. The orbits of his eyes was broken. It's wondering if he had a skill fracture, all because some guy came up to him and put his hand on his backside. So he'd heard about this guy, and so he just turned around and he smashed him in his face. And this guy and all his friends came in and just kicked his face in. But it's like it was kind of like, if you don't let these people know you don't want what they're offering, they'll force it on you.
Mhm.
And that is the kind of feeling that is the kind of feeling I get here. She is like the doctor. The doctor is the one who does the forcing. It's like, you have no choice. But now that someone is actually sticking up to her, now that someone is facing up against her, she has no idea what to do, and all she can do is cry. All she can do is yell about it.
Yep. But she got a fitting end anyway, because
She did. She got the ending she deserved.
this is where, like, you'd think this would be it would get light after this, but it goes dark again. Because even when Rin rescues Cookie, and he knows what he is, her answer is to hand him a gun and go, right, well, you have two options. If you don't think you can live with this.
This is such a great ending.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's like, it's such a powerful ending that it's worthy of being the series finale, not just the end of episode 1.
But yeah, you hear this, you think everything's going the way it is. You know, she gets down to the van, she waits, she hears a gunshot. You see her physically sag, and then gets in and drives off. So I love the way they're not doing the edgelord. Like, they could have easily made Rin an edgelord, but they're not. They're making her empathetic as well, and that's frustrating.
She's like outside of when she's doing her job, she's quite normal.
Yeah, we don't see that. Like, Mimi comes up, like, sits in her lap and stuff, and the cuddle and that, you know, and it's just normal. She's not like, God, what was it? Do you remember they tried to do Green Arrow, the Arrowverse, and they tried to make Green Arrow basically Batman?
Oh God, yes.
Oh, none of my friends, we'll all fall out, and you'll get back. You know, I mean, a couple of seasons of that, and your freaking head was done in, because they're always falling out because he pushed everybody away. Then they all got back together again, pushed everybody away. They even did that with Batman in the movies and stuff. But if you read the comics, like, that, you saw the tender moments. It was always between him and Alfred.
Yeah.
But they even fucked that up in the movies, because that was the only person that he ever opened up to. And then obviously Dick Grayson, you know, they got older. That was that was the thing. You saw that. So this stupid notion of you can't be stoic or you can't be the hero and not have your humanity is nonsense. Because if you don't have your humanity, you're the villain. And this is what they've done now. They've turned the heroes into villains. But Rin would quite happily live her life by not doing this. But like she says, she keeps getting dragged into these weird cases. You see her actually disappointed. Like, she wanted to save Cookie, but she understood that she had to give him the choice. So when they go back and they're trying to basically carry on again, and you could see they're having trouble picking up from this one. I think this one affected Rin. And Mimi knew straight away that she was a bit upset by this one. But then Cookie appears with the cat.
That's the fact. It's like when he's like, there was the door open and she went, "I'll get it." She's like, "Yeah." And he's standing where I've got to admit, I sagged a bit at that moment, because it's like, oh, that's amazing. This amazing, really, really strong finish with like the gunshot. And then like he turns up with like a bandage around his head. So obviously he's tried to kill himself and missed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what did he say? It's like I choose the way I live my life.
Yeah, and he brings the cat that they're looking for and asks for a job.
Employment decided.
Well, if he's going to be a weirdo, he may as well work with the weirdos. You know what I mean? And
I like the way I like the way he said, I'd like to have a job. Rin doesn't get a say in it, which makes you wonder: is Mimi actually running this from the background?
yeah, but that's the thing. Mimi is the anchor. That's obvious. And I like the way Cookie didn't just ask for a job. He came with like solving the first case and providing that he was useful.
This is proof I can do this.
Yep.
Here's my portfolio. Casket.
Yep. Whatever the prize was for it, you know what I mean, the fee, but it worked. This is where I was checking because we're getting time jumps now between the episodes. So the next episode jumps at a year later.
Suddenly it's 91.
And this is we'll start off with the funny part, water. I'd like some more.
See, this is it. This is where I wondered if I'd clicked the wrong button and I was actually like, playing episode 1 again. Because it starts off exactly the same as the first episode did. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, oh, I forgot. Sorry, I checked, but I actually went back to episode 1 just in case. And it follows exactly. It follows episode 1 identically for it must be 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. But this is their morning. This is their banter, their play between them. You know what I mean? Every morning. They start off with a few shots.
What a way to get a shot. Got to be honest.
We also see that obviously Cookie is established in the firm now, and he's doing his own investigations. So this is where he encounters a woman looking for an angel.
An angel.
Which we don't think much of until later on we realize what this is about. But I like the fact that the maid didn't just make him a sidekick. This is what I'm really liking about this. Rin isn't your typical push everybody away, I'm a girl boss. Mimi isn't just a nerdy back character. She has depth there, but we're not getting it all at once. It's not getting spelled out to us, but you can tell by the interactions. She has depth as an equal.
It is. It's drip feeding information to you, and it's letting you decide what you do with it.
Yep. Because it's a year later, they've given Cookie agency as well, and he's established himself. So he's not just a hanger-on; he's a competent member of the team.
Yeah, he's got his own clients. He's finding his own work.
Yes, and I like that. This is storytelling. This is characterization.
It's moving the plot forward.
Yeah, and not just, because it could have had him as the goofy comical character throughout, if this was like a standard. But they're not doing that. And I appreciate it. Like I said, I found this so refreshing just to have an adult show.
But one of the problems with anime is people will look at things like Sailor Moon and be like, yeah, that's anime.
Mm-hmm.
That's anime. That's all anime has to offer.
No, but this is the point of us doing this series.
And say, no, it's not. anime has so much more to offer than that, but people it's like anything. People take one look and it's like, oh, yep, that's it. My opinion is made.
Well, it's like saying the horror genre is only the slasher and only the mainstream stuff, which it isn't. You know what I mean? Yes, that's a part of it, but it's only a small drop in the ocean. But this is what we try and do in this channel, is that we try and explore these, have a look at them. Some we've seen before, stuff we haven't. You know, it's just the way we're not following any trend or looking up news articles to see what's currently trending. You know what I mean? We're just we're spinning the wheel, you know what I mean, going through and just taking each one as we see it. And if that doesn't keep us current, so be it. You know, I thought this was worthwhile looking at. When we've watched it, it was really enjoyable. And just a second episode, we see straight away that everybody's moved, everyone's got their place, everyone's got worth in the team.
Yep.
And then this was a strange case. It took me a minute to figure out. This was like proper. What are all the dots? You know, how do you join all these dots together? Because
because it's like the main case that stuck out to me is like, well, the first one we meet is like the missing persons case, Koki's case, where he's helping the young girl find her brother. I say young girl, young woman.
Yep, but then we get this corporate person come in wanting Rin to find a missing stamp, a Sutherland stamp.
Yeah, it's kind of you're right. It's like you know something weird has to be going on somewhere because of a stamp.
I have to say, the way they joined us together was brilliant.
The story writing, particular episode, is really good.
So we have obviously Rin's going to go try and find out what you can about a stamp, and she just happens to know the professor, who's an actual professor, but he just happens to be homeless because he squandered, he did something, and he lost everything. But he's basically chosen his life now. And it just so happens he rare stamps.
He's an expert. He used to collect rare stamps. Rin is a very, very well connected detective.
But that goes to show that she's obviously, like, these relationships have been built up. Like I said, you just don't drop in on someone like that unless they're very familiar with you. So she's checked in on him in the past, or just she's identified him as somebody who could be of use. I just cultivated that relationship, and it just happened to be this is the time it came in handy. But he has this book, and he showed her stamp. It wasn't the one she was looking for. But when she walks away, he flicks over the page and exactly the sort of stamp that she's looking for. But he didn't tell her.
So you ask yourself the question, why?
Like, what's going on here? There's also we got this. I forgot to mention this in the first episode. Rin keeps having these phone calls, and they're not the Mimi, and it's somebody significant on the other end out to. And I don't know if is it a female voice or a male voice on the other end.
I don't know. I'm going to say right by the end of this, because we've only got 3 more episodes. We actually find out who it is.
Another subplot is going through this. Like, every night she talks to this person, and it's a different relationship. You know, it's not sexual or unbearing her soul sort of thing, and dealing with her. You know, somebody that seems to understand her personal situation.
Another immortal, maybe?
Could be. but it's obviously a conversation she can't have with Mimi, even though Mimi's immortal as well. There's obviously something different. See, straight away, there's another layer to this character.
So I do like the fact that there are all these questions that need answers, but they're not in any particular, like rush to give us the answers.
No, it's universe building. We're getting a glimpse into the universe, and rather than just getting all smacked in our face, you know, I mean, it's all getting drip fed. We're living these lives, but we understand there's more to it. Like I said, it's just like little bits getting drip fed into us, and these little points that it might be important later on, it might not be. But it's just showing that there's a bigger universe and we don't have to see everything all at once. But yeah, that agent who approached them for the stamp turned out to be somebody from the Foreign Office. And when she approaches Tamasu to talk about it, even he's like, nah, I'm not getting involved in this. This is way too ropey. This is like 3-letter agencies and stuff, you know, umbrella with poison darts, you know, getting you in the tube type stuff. No, thank you.
I'm pretty sure he does mention CIA at least once.
Yeah, it's all that cloak and dagger stuff, and it's yeah, even he doesn't want anything to do with it. But also, we see that the professor then gets robbed. So somebody's been following Rin while she's carrying out an investigation to look at the contacts she has. Which just adds the more, you know, sneaky beaky type stuff going on.
It's kind of like yeah, because he's like the guy rushes into she's at the bar, isn't she, having a drink, and the guy rushes in, he's like, oh my god, this is happening, you'll never guess what's happened. And she it shows it's not the hospital, is it? She goes to the she goes to like the shelter that the doctor lives in, which is just got a load of old broken pallets and plastic.
And that's where she twigs on that, you know, he was actually robbed. Then we'll get the assassin appears again.
Yeah. Obviously a proponent of the stormtrooper school of sharpshooting.
But she didn't bring a shotgun this time.
Or does she miss that first shot? Does she miss the first couple of shots? Because she shoots a bottle, she shoots a plastic drinks bottle. Does she miss just to let Rin know she's there so she can start the chase?
Could be. There's something obviously going on with these two, you know, and it's more than just being hired to do a job.
There's definitely history there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome.
She can like phase in and out of reality, but it appears she can store stuff as well, like Claymore mines in her chest.
That is a bit weird. It's like abominable things.
Front towards perverts.
Surprise! But yeah, this is after that, it's like huge explosion, bomb goes off. then we get the final resolution that, you know what, being immortal may not be the best thing ever.
No, because you're going to feel that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the way Koki goes looking for her, and he finds her, and he basically sees her regenerating herself from explosion to the front.
Mm-hmm.
There's bits hanging out and ribs, weird slurping noises.
Yeah, so you don't just get to feel things once; you get to feel it twice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The second time it's in reverse.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and
Yeah,
then that's the only time she pushes him away, or she stops.
Don't come, don't look. I don't want you to see me.
That's like a really intimate moment, isn't it? For when she goes through this.
When your guts are sliding back in, I think so.
Yeah,
it's not the kind of thing you want to share.
No, so that's I didn't think it was nasty or just her being, it's like no.
Oh no, she's like she obviously cares for her, and she obviously cares for him, and he's never really seen anything like this before, has he?
No. So, like I said, it was understandable. I think what it is, I've got so used to now to expecting these shitty characters, especially when it's a female-led show. Thanks to girl bosses, that it's easy to forget that there's actually loads of shows, I guess, about that weren't like that, and you actually got behind the female character because they showed competence.
Yeah.
Not this current slew of absolute shite that comes out, and then you're just meant to go along with it because you're part of the patriarchy and you're holding women down if you don't support it. No, they don't support it because it's bollocks. I mean, there's shows, I guess, that actually show well-rounded characters, and they can be attractive and not two-dimensional. Like, as an animated character, and it's got more charisma. There is more subtle nods and acting than Hollywood could ever produce. And it's just, like I said, it's just refreshing to watch things, I guess. I guess it's a protagonist you can get behind and you can actually support and you want to see her succeed. I mean, she's having moments, I guess, you do feel bad. Like that's not, you don't get that with today's Hollywood shit.
Oh God, no. I don't think it was. I don't think most of the big film corporations out there. I don't think they dare create a character like this.
Oh God, no, they wouldn't last. They'd be burning torches, pitchforks, because all the blue hairs would be like stamping their feet and protesting and stuff.
Right. Too beautiful. Yeah. Not totally independent of other people.
Because none of us are. No man's a castle.
Oh yeah, but if you're like this amazing hero, you don't need other people holding you back. Because you're like kick ass on your own. It doesn't work like that. And everybody, there's no such thing as an island. Everybody needs someone.
Or no man's an island. Sorry, that's the opposite one.
Even if it's just a dog, may we mention dog?
Oh, that's true. Mimi's like big pile of fluff.
We have a dog. It's a big fluffy thing. It's not a proper anime dog because it actually looks like a dog.
Excuse me. Yeah.
But dog. So this anime wins points because dog. Seems like a very good boy.
This is the bit where once again, this could have been like really snarky, but not. Rin has a conversation with Koki afterwards, and she explains about the time fruits that come from the tree that only the immortals. Like there's this huge hulking tree at the edge of Shinjuku.
Apparently, tree does have a name. It's Idrissa. It's like Idrissa. It's never actually mentioned in the anime. And there is no, as far as I know, there is no manga of this. But if you look up the notes for this show, the tree is called Idrisil. It's just never mentioned. So it's the
Alright.
world tree. Yes, it's this mysterious, huge, illusionary tree. Yeah, that only immortals can see. That just kind of like hangs over the world.
We find out that if a time fruit passes into a woman, it makes her immortal. They don't know why. They don't know how it happens. It just does.
And if the time fruit passes into a man,
Well, that's the whole point of this episode.
oh yeah.
But they just left that hanging. That it was just, as if it could only happen to women.
I kind of like the fact that they did that. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you don't get everything spelled out. Like, it's, once again, I'll use the word refreshing. I know it's going to get a bit boring for folks just using the same word over and over again, but
yeah, but
if this was a Western current day show,
there's no other word for it.
If this was a Western current day show, you would have 10 minutes of exposition. You wouldn't have the characters just telling the story in real time and not being in a rush to fill everything in. They'd leave the question there. They may or may not answer it in this episode. They may not answer it the later, but you get the impression, you can trust it that it's going to answer the question. It's just, it doesn't fit the plot right now to have a 10-minute exposition of somebody going blah 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 blah. You know.
Now that like if they did something like that, it would just it would be tantamount to turning every single episode of this into an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh God! Did you hear about that pilot?
What for the new series?
Yeah, New Sunningdale.
I heard that was. I heard that Sarah Michelle Gellar wasn't really impressed.
No, apparently it was bad. No, she's not. She wasn't impressed because the show got cancelled.
Was it? Well,
she started off. She started off, and she acted as if this was all all's fair, in TV pilot series. I've covered a couple of articles on it. Then she went into complete dickhead mode.
That sounds about so. Yes, that sounds well.
She released a social media post.
What did we expect?
Yeah,
actually, a famous person. Essentially, done anything since Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
It's been a few things, but
I've got to be honest. I never really followed Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No, I said it before. Just that's an example of like loads of exposition, and then involved in the freaking teeny love triangles and crap, and like early on, I give up on it. I just no interest.
Yeah,
especially when people my age group are like even they're Angel, Spike, this,
Team Jacob. Oh wait, that's the other one.
Yeah, but it's that sort of shit, and I'm just like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah,
those shows aren't for me. This show is.
See the time when people around here were going mad on things like Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was watching like reruns of MASH and Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, the
war stuff, Vietnam.
Yeah, but I've got to say that the series where even though Vietnam lost the war, they won every battle. Like every episode, they always won, and you're just like, but you lost the war. How'd that happen? American TV.
Don't mention the war. I did, but I think I got away with it.
Have you heard all the stuff coming out about the Australian SAS?
God no, tell me. But I've got respect for the Australian SAS.
All these documents are locked, but basically the Australian SAS were put in charge of Phung Thuy province during the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And they basically just sent out like their standard patrols, 5-man patrols and that, and they dominated the entire area where the Americans couldn't do it with artillery and napalm and everything else. They actually went and just completely and all this stuff has been locked away and only come out now because of the
Right, this doesn't surprise me because it's like the SAS. Any nation that has an SAS, it's just England and Australia now.
No,
The
it's New
SAS are
Zealand as
hard as
well.
nails.
Don't
Oh
New
yeah,
Zealand
right. The SAS is as hard as nails. Yeah, it is considered to be the best covert ops in the world, unless you're American, in which case it's dealt with in the Navy SEALs. Yeah. Also, Australian. Australians are all hell or hard as nails because they live on a death world. Australia, yeah, which is full of spiders bigger than a car with teeth that can punch through 3 inches of armor plate that spit acid.
And of course, as an Australian, you're thrown out into the wilderness at 3 years of age, and if you
That's it.
survive and come back,
You have to survive until you're 18 when you come back. It's like if somebody said
you
like
give your first teddy, you know what I mean, and that's it.
Yeah. If somebody from the SAS, the British SAS, came up to me and said, "Me and you, we're going to fight." With my advancing years, I'd still have a go and hope that I could pull up an impressive show. If someone from the Australian SAS came and said, "We're having a fight, you can't," I'd run. I'd no.
No, that's funny, but yeah, all that stuff's come out, and yeah,
Oh dear.
the Americans refused to work with them and everything else, and like, just everything is locked in secret. Nah, worth checking out. Go and look it up. And
the problem with Vietnam is the West got involved. We should have just left the French to pull out.
Yeah, well, that's
you say that about a lot of wars. Wait, let's get back to the anime, or I'll be talking for the next 4 hours.
Yeah. No, but unlike those TV shows like this, talk about Buffy and stuff, this is the opposite of that. This is the sort of stuff I would watch or want to watch rather than that. And that's why I never really fit it in, because everyone else was gushing over like basic bitch stuff, what I call it.
It's like Buffy. From what I understand, it became less about the stories it was trying to tell and more about the relationship between Buffy and Angel and Willow and whatever the other one's name was.
Yeah. It was just
it became more about the characters than it did the story. Because of that, the story suffered.
Yeah, because it just became the typical soap opera. That's all. It just became a soap opera. So I have no interest in a reboot if it happened anyway. I just think it's funny that she went out. Well, first of all, when she released the statement, she did it right before the Oscars. And Disney Hulu wanted to wait until after, because it's still important to them, even though nobody gives a shit about the Oscars. And then she went straight into bitch mode, and I just laughed.
Yeah, good on her for doing it. But I'm not surprised a remake of Buffy failed, because it's going to be nothing like the original. It wouldn't be allowed to be like, because like in the original, it's like in the original you've got Buffy, yeah, the demon hunter, whatever she does, yeah, the vampire slayer, yeah, but she's not overly powerful, and the power comes from her friends and from like Angel and her relationship with Angel. You can't like I'll use your term, as much as it makes me kill my lip. Yeah, you can't girl boss that. You can't take someone who shows weakness, who needs people around them to help them, who needs the support of others, and create some kind of like all-conquering war machine out of it.
But I think that's what they tried to do.
There's too much humanity in that picture.
Yeah, but that's what I'm even talking about this show. You're seeing humanity. This is not, even though they're mortal, like Rin, you can empathize with, you can feel sorry for, you can cheer on her victories, and
because she's immortal. I get the idea that she can be blown up, but as long as you can blow her up, but as long as there's one piece of her left, I think she's like a troll. Like, as long as there's just something like a fingertip or a fingernail left or an ear, she can totally regenerate back from it.
Well,
But
we see what happens.
even because she's got like this incredible supernatural power, she's still human.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's not like Light, where he's like, I am God, I'm gonna save the world, everybody's bad people are gonna die. Or like Goku from Dragon Ball Z, who's just like a Kamehameha and blowing everything up because of his amazing ball powers.
I could never get into that.
It needs like I don't know why it's aimed at children, because I honestly think that Dragon Ball Z requires a certain amount of alcohol consumption before it even starts to make sense.
To me, it was Saturday morning cartoon.
Like, Dragon Ball Z is not actually considered to be a children's cartoon.
It just
because of how,
like I said,
because of how complicated it is.
I just couldn't get into it.
It's like Teppenko and Langdon. The plot's just all over the place.
Like, I'm glad I read the Transformers comics before I ever watched the cartoon.
Yeah, I was a Transformers comic.
If I only had the cartoon, I wouldn't have. I was a little shit. I just, the cartoon was a joke. The Marvel comics was the best. That was back when Marvel used to do some good stuff. The Marvel run of Transformers, the 400 episodes or whatever issues, was fantastic.
Oh God, yeah.
And it was actually in depth, and there was consequence to the actions, and you got. It was like
again. It was a series. It was serious. It wasn't a kid's comic. I used to read Eagle, right? Complete tangent. Sorry about this. My favorite story in Eagle was, without a doubt, Dan Dare. Yeah. Well, it's like Dan Dare itself. Like Dan Dare, and he's like the rest of the heroes all fighting against the Mekon. Yeah. It's all very childish. It's like the morals that they're standing up for are very simplistic. Everything is black and white. There's no shades of grey. I kind of wish that someone would like reboot Dan Dare, Pilot of the Future, but write it as like an adult story where it's like, yeah, there's no such thing. There's not really any such thing as good, because it's like a hero goes up against a villain, and like they kill the villain. They still have to kill him. There's still moral ambiguity in there, which you don't normally see in comics and things like that. Or at least you didn't used to see in comics and things like that. There are comics out there that cover these kind of things, but they're all kind of like indie superhero comics are great. Astro City, Gen 13 to name 2. Are absolutely brilliant, because the heroes are there. They're big, they're bold, they're flashy, they've got superpowers, bullets bounce off their chests, they can fly, breathe fire. But as well as that, they focus on what's behind the mask. Like there's sorry about this. There's a story there's a hero in Astro City called Samaritan. He's basically Samaritan universe equivalent of Superman, yeah? He goes around, he goes whizzing around the world at super speed, saving all these people, solving all these crimes. Behind his mask, all the man wants to do is fly. Every time he goes back to his lair at the end of the day, he tallies up how many seconds he's flown. So all he wants to do is take a day off and just fly. But he can't, because he's a hero. I was going to make a point with that, but I'll be damned if I can remember what it was. Sorry about that.
You tangented yourself.
It's like you get the feeling that it's like Rin and Mimi just want to live a normal life, but they can't because they're not allowed to.
Yeah, it just fate keeps dragging them into this world. Yeah, and then we meet Apos, who seems to be it's the Doctor, but turned up the 11. And we meet his guest that he has sitting beside him, like his reflection table.
Can I be honest about like the guest? Yeah,
Mhm.
that is one of the most striking images in this.
Yeah, but don't see her fully, you know, for the first time, like it's hinted
If I
at.
could find one, I would totally have a poster or a figure of her.
That would be a cool diorama. Those two sitting across from each other and the whole setup, that would be amazing.
Oh no, screw Apos the knobhead. It's like it's
No,
one of those kind of things.
him sitting across, you know, that scene where they're sitting like
playing chess with the world's most explicit chess set.
This is where I'd love. There's loads of stuff I'd love to do if I could work out, but it would take too long to study how to do STLs, how to actually model them. You know what I mean? I think it'll get to the point though you can take an image and you'll be able to 3D render it. I think the technology is getting close to being that good.
So yeah, it's like you can do now with AI art, where you can take a screenshot or a picture of something and you can just like feed it into an AI, and it will produce art based on that image.
Well, sure. Look at the animations I do for the promo pics. That's grok. You know, I obviously I've spent, you know, I've put the image together myself, still old school, but I just feed that in and get it animated for the newsletter and stuff. Like that's done in seconds, and it looks good. That was like, if you look through at the channel, my intros and stuff that I did myself, you could see that it's amateur. So
the skill is there,
but I'm no animator. You know what I mean? It's just basic layering and, you know, using.
Oh, I know someone. I know someone who uses ChatGTP for everything. If they need to write a letter or they need to do a flyer for something or a poster or an intro or a flash screen for like an anime that's coming up, not an anime that's coming up, an RPG that's coming up, ChatGPT all the time.
No, I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? You have to have a bit of your own personality.
I've got a friend who's teaching me how to do AI art. That's quite interesting. It's a lot more complicated than I thought it was.
But I don't discount the stuff, you know, as long as it doesn't take over actual. But
yeah.
For
I imagine.
For creating something like a quick intro, or just vigil, I have no problem with it whatsoever. It does what it. Everything's already been created before AI is just adding that extra little bit.
Right, my problem is I'd love to be an artist, but I can't draw.
I'm terrible.
I can't write, never mind draw. Jesus. So yeah, I'm just looking into it because I can tell it what I want, and when it shows me what I get, I can like tweak it and alter it and change it around slightly.
Yeah,
I'm only doing it for I'm only doing it for fun. I'm not one of these people who's like, do you know what? I'm going to copy all these pictures of this character in like lewd poses and then make $1 million from it. No. There's enough of those strange people in the world out there already without me joining in.
Well, it's not the people selling it; it's the people buying it.
It's the people buying it.
That's, you know what I mean. I'll never. If you want to take money off rubes, crack on. It's their fault for being stupid. And if you can find a way to make money off stupid people, fine, crack on. If you're the type paying money for stupid things, then that's on you.
Buy this picture of this PSP or whatever it's called, only 250 quid. And everybody did. Oh.
Anyway.
PSPs? Holy good. Anyway.
This isn't that. This is like storytelling characters. Like I said, we meet Apos, who's going to be an important character. We'll find out this angel might be linked to the missing brother because there's been a whole slew of killings carried out. and then Rin ends up the wrong place, wrong time, and gets arrested. It was one of the apartments. Yeah, it was one of the girls' apartments. They just come in
Yes.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yes, because no, I'm thinking of episode 3. Ignore me. After the tangent, I went off on a tangent. It's fine. I was thinking of something from episode 3.
No, this is lead. This is direct lead almost into episode 3. But yeah, this is where they realize that the Cokies case, with regards to the angel, the missing brother, and the killings that are happening, could be linked. And then this is where they go. This is where Rin realize she has to go to a contact that she doesn't want to go to because they won't take payment of money. And yeah, that was it. That was an interesting one.
I'm just thinking, so how do they take payment then?
They take payment in kind. Payment in kind, it was known as.
They take their pound of flesh. They just don't remove it from the body first.
Yep. Basically, Rin has to pleasure this other woman to get the information.
Oh, it's like the fate. It's like if you want this, you're going to have to get it yourself. And there's kind of like a film canister or something, and I'm not going to tell you where she pushes it. I will leave that to your imagination, like every good storyteller does. But again, you see, if this was like air quotes that kind of anime, it would have shown you that entire scene, but it didn't.
No, but
that is pretty much it. It's like if you want this, you're going to have to get it yourself. Curtain closes, so curtain closes, stage change, curtains open.
Yeah, but that's the power of suggestion. That's where suggestion and innuendo, and even not just with the horror aspect, but the sexual aspect works, because you know what's going to happen. You don't need it demonstrated. You know, I don't like stuff. I don't like nudity for nudity's sake. I don't like or sake.
Yeah.
Pointless.
I don't like programs where they feel they have to explain everything in like the smallest detail. As if, like, you know, every member of the audience is an idiot who isn't capable of putting plot point 1 and plot point 2 together.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I'm enjoying about this. It's leaving enough open that you can ask questions. It's leaving enough space that you can come up with your own theories. And then it just kind of like everything pops into place later on. Like an old-fashioned detective drama.
Yep, but this is the bit I couldn't have joined these dots in a million years. The stamp is used as a form of currency to pay for a very specific type of assassin. I would never have made that.
It's
entered my mind.
It's the bit earlier on where Rin arrives back at the office and Mimi's going like, "Oh, you've had mail," and she hands it and she looks at it and she's like, "Stamps! My God, the link is stamps." I'm like, "Stamps? What? Stamps? The link is stamps? No, have I missed something?"
Yeah, and that's what we find out.
Like, even after explaining it deeper, I'm like, "Huh? What?"
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a particular type of assassin who's used for high-end jobs, and he only takes payment in rare stamps, not money, because that's his thing.
I'm going to say that you've got to admit it's a really specific form of payment.
Yep, and also the angel is taking out everybody who's connected to this assassination that's going to happen. then we find out that Yuki, she finds her brother, that he is the angel. So all these things just come together.
It's a glorious mess, the way everything just kind of like collides in the middle.
But there was no way it had to be that. The only way you could figure it out would be by a glorious mess, because there's no way you're connecting those dots.
Some would try,
but nah, it's not happening. But this is this is the funniest scene. Is Mimi sitting proud of her setup? Got 16 gigabyte, 40 megahertz CPU, 128 megabytes of RAM, and a 300 megabyte hard disk drive.
It's like it's the bit where she goes like It's like he's cleared his disk, he's cleared everything, but he hasn't deleted the files. Maybe he's the kind of person who doesn't delete the files, and she's just like, no, reads off what the computer and says, there's no way somebody owns this, wouldn't delete files.
I just laughed. I'm like, what? But that's what I'm saying. What we're getting today is these now are just numbers, but nothing better is being done. And that frustrates me.
Yeah.
It's like phones. Phones are just rectangles now, and you just pay more for the latest rectangle because it has the new designation. You're not getting really a better product.
See, the only way you can tell one phone from another is by looking at the number of lenses on the back of it, because as far as they work, they're all the same.
Yeah. It's pointless.
Like I couldn't like the phone I'm using now, it's like I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what its specs are. I just went in and bought a phone. He's like, he says, oh, there's various options, blah 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 blah. I didn't listen. I wanted one that was like going to be future proof for at least a few years, because they've just shut 3G down where I live. So I thought I want something that's going to be future proof for at least a few years. So I bought like the cheapest 5G phone I could find. I don't use it for anything. I just talk in one end and people's voices come out the other. That's all I use my phone for. If you could still buy like a cheap bone version of a phone, which is just a phone.
That's what I have. I need to get a better one.
It's like until smartphones became all the rage and it blew up, I just used a Nokia 3310. It was absolutely brilliant. You could drive cars over it and it'd still keep working. These things, if you look at them funny, they break.
Yeah. But that's the thing about there's an element of hope. There's an element of the future of anything being possible. Like the science fiction elements, this just let you know it was all to play for. Now nothing's to play for. It's just depressing. You see what I mean about culture? Like the optimism of the 90s, as in we're heading towards the future where we're going to ascend. All this is going to be possible. And now, yes, so much is possible. Like we have the world's library at our fingertips. We have all the information we want, and people are thick as fuck. People are stupid. It's actually had the opposite effect. And it's not good. People, you can make friends with anybody anywhere in the world. If you've got like what we're doing right now, if you've got an interest in something, you can make friends with someone, you can talk about it, you can enjoy it. And yet people are more miserable than ever. What's that about? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
We're the old farts and we're happier than the young people. Like, what's that about?
I do kind of find that kind of depressing, because it's like, yeah, when we were young, oh, do you know what? Can't wait to get older so I can have this, and do this and do that and do the other. Kids these days don't want to get older, because they've got to face things like, employment and money issues.
But I faced employment from the age of 12.
Yeah, I
had a paper round. then
My
went
mum and
all.
dad, my mum and dad wouldn't let me have a paper round. It's like I went through school, I went through college, I went through university. After I finished with university, instead of getting the job that I trained for, which is basically like analytical chemistry in a science lab, checking materials and whatnot. Instead of doing that, I decided to have like a year off, and I got a job in a plastics factory, and I spent 14 years there. So it's like, right. Was it the job I trained for? No. Was it the job I ended up loving? Yes.
There you go. But
Just it's just the way it is. But it's kind of like when we were kids, we were taught to like look forward to the future and think about the things we were going to do once we like left school, college, whatever, and found a job. There doesn't seem to be any of that now. It's like it's doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom.
But that's what I'm saying about this. That optimism was ingrained in us, of anything's. But yeah, obviously, reality speaking, that setup wouldn't do shit. You know what I mean? But the idea was, the seed was planted that this would be possible. Anything's to play for. So I'm seeing what we can do now, and I'm enjoying it. Like this. See this right here? Like this. This 15 years ago wasn't possible. This 20 years ago was like science fiction. Even 10 years ago, it was only like you had to have a very good like broadcasting setup. But the fact we can so casually do this is amazing. This other stuff we could do like as a hobbyist, like playing with AI, playing with images and stuff just for fun. Making animated stuff just for fun is amazing. And I think that's why I'm happier than when you see people who've grown up with us and don't know anything else for some reason are miserable, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't make sense. But that's the way the dice have rolled. And just this, like I said, this show's just reminded me, I think, of a more positive time, and storytelling was allowed to be storytelling. Like this is a fascinating universe. I'm fascinated by it. I want to find out more about each character, but I'm prepared to like go at the pace.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that there are going to be, in at least the last 2 episodes, some really, really big reveals that open it up. But I've got to be honest, I wouldn't be totally disappointed if it just ended without explaining anything.
And just at that point, maybe to continue in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we also find out then this is why they were terrified at the thought of an angel, because the time fruits, women become immortal, men become angels. The women are drawn to the angels, and effectively the angels shag them to death.
Like I was going to say, it's like a woman. Like it's explained. Isn't it something like a woman's job? Like if a woman is hit by one of the time fruits, is infected by one of the time fruits, her job is to be immortal. Yeah.
That's the effect.
Yeah. When an angel when a man gets hit by a time fruit, they become an angel. An angel's job is to destroy the immortals.
Mm-hmm.
An angel, a man, once he's infected by a time fruit and becomes an angel, only lives for 3 weeks.
And that's his sole purpose. And also
his sole purpose is to like,
when
what word does she use to describe it?
I don't know. They go willingly. They can't fight it. They have to give up willingly. It's, if you think of nature, right? A fruit drops from a tree for animals to eat so that they spread the seed. Like there's an allegory here to nature and rebirth and life, death. It's almost like a check and a balance, because imagine if all women became immortal. You know what I mean? Or if all men became immortal, or if too many people became immortal. You know what I mean? It's damaging to the ecosystem. So this is like the ecosystem trying to repair itself. It's a check and balance. in
Yeah,
the
half
ecosystem.
half of the problems the world are facing now, like think about it: overpopulation, lack of food, global warming, all that kind of stuff, wars, resource depletion. Unfortunately, it's all like mankind's fault. But mankind is the only animal on this planet that does not have a predator.
Mhm.
There's nothing to keep us in check.
Apart from other humans.
Apart from what? Sorry, I was having a drink.
Apart from other humans.
That's it.
We keep ourselves in check. That's, believe it or not, war is necessary.
But but the last thing that kept mankind in check was just after World War One, the Great Flu pandemic, which wiped
Spanish
out
flu.
like a third of the world's population.
Spanish flu.
Spanish flu.
32,
I
wasn't
mean,
it?
wars. I mean, World War Two killed what? 57 million soldiers and civilians,
Mm.
something like that. Half of which were from the Soviet Union.
It sounds harsh, but yeah, this is all part of it. This is all part of
It's
checks and balances.
look at the way we do it. Yeah, right. One of the parks, it's like one of the ancestral halls around here has got a deer park. Yeah, there are too many deer in that park. So what did they do?
Open hunting
They
season.
they called them. There was a massive outcry, but there was nothing else to do with them. They couldn't pass them on, so they called them and sold venison for a while. Now the population is under control. There's nothing like that for mankind.
No, that's called animal husbandry.
It is. There's nothing cruel about it. I mean, good
No,
God. I mean,
we are a predator. We're a former predator. You know what I mean? It's like they did that. Yeah, sorry, folks, tangent. But this is the allegory. Especially when this is the life tree, and there's all these deep levels of conversations, and it's only done in a few. Like, they don't go into this. You don't get like a half an hour exposition explain how this ties. That's up to you to make those connections yourselves, and people have different opinions. But what was it? They put the wolves into Yellowstone.
yeah,
And the herd animals overgraze. So by having predators, it keeps the herd animals down. Because if you overgraze, then you wipe out the plant life, you wipe out the insect life, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It's always there's no
it all just
everything is in flux
to
and
the point
flow.
where everything collapses.
Yeah, everything's in flux and flow. That's nature.
Hmm.
Humans think we can put everything in a box. That some idiots do and don't appreciate that it's always going to be in flux and flow. That's why there's no such thing as a utopia. Doesn't happen. Will always be
Utopia is a
rising and
great
falling
idea.
and up and
All
against
it
each
is.
other.
Weird one. Utopia is like communism.
Hmm.
Only works on paper.
No, and it just falls apart
Hmm.
every time.
But it's like it's like look at Russia. Russia isn't communist anymore. Look at China. China isn't really communist anymore. All of there is only one truly communist nation in this world, and oddly enough, that's North Korea.
Yeah.
So immortals, to prevent them from getting out of control, need a predator. They need something to keep the numbers down, and that is the job of the angels. Also, proper biblical angels, because he's got at least 6 wings.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're just called because of the way they look, but it's. This was a cool scene then when Ren figures out who Stamp's target is. It's a visiting dignitary. She and then she realizes it's a professor's stamp that he kept it, and that's what got stolen to go and pay this guy. they take out the assassination. I love why she just turns and says like, "Look, I'm not going to stop you. Finish your job, but can I just have the stamp, please?"
That is awesome. And he just kind of like pulls the stamp out of his pocket, shows he's got it, and puts it back in again.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, "I've worked out what you're trying to do. You've got this set up, that set up. I haven't interfered with it. I'm not going to stop your plan. Don't care. I just want the stamp." And that seemed to have offended him more than I think if she had tried to stop him. Some
Yeah.
sense of honor in his head would have made him give up the stamp because he failed the mission.
I think he needed the crap beaten out of him, because it's like as a matter of purpose, you can't just like, if somebody comes up to you and says, "Look, I know you're doing this, that, and the other, but I want this," you can't just, it's like you can't just give it to them, can you?
Even if it doesn't matter how politely they ask. But this is the bit where the angel appears and stamp just gets taken out. That's it. End of story.
Yeah, it's like he didn't stand a chance with it. I know he managed to get 2 shots off and shoot her in the. I mean, gets 2 shots off, shoots her in the stomach.
But
Is that guy? Is that guy really a professional assassin if he's going for the stomach?
center of the body mass.
You at least aim for the chest. There's more important things that will kill you very quickly in the chest than there are in your gut.
Yeah, but you aim for the center of the body mass, so you just getting 2 bullets in the middle of someone's still going to give him a bad day. But he didn't get a chance to finish her off because he got eaten, just ripped apart.
Well, yeah, this is true. When because he's there, they're just about to finish each other off. And what comes flying through the window?
I can't remember how the brothers connected.
Right, it's like I'm gonna say it's like.
But it's the brother's mind, not the angel.
Yeah.
He's basically stopping this assassination.
He was so strong-willed that he's managed to like keep at least part of his mind. And it's like this is why he's going after the people who are to do with the assassination.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the last person at the end of the chain of the assassination is the assassin himself.
Yep. But yeah,
it's just a complete and utter. You could almost say it's just a fluke that he happens to turn up while Rin is there.
Yeah, because that would have happened anyway without it. But it was interesting to see Rin just completely powerless.
It was the way she fell apart was absolutely brilliant. It's like the angel who just looks like a perfectly normal human with like wings sticking out of his back
and completely red, but yeah, perfectly normal.
That completely red comes in a moment. It's like he how did he kill him? How did he kill Stamp?
He just ripped them apart. He just tore him to pieces. That was it. It was over in seconds.
Like in my head, it was kind of like crack, broken neck.
Yeah, it was just done, ripped. You know, it was done. It was a nothing.
But yeah, it's like he's done, and he's like he looks over and he sees Rin there, and Rin's like, "No, don't come anywhere near me," and that's when he turns red and his eyes turn black.
She starts undressing because that's it.
She starts huffing and puffing as if she's just run 10 miles. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like it's twin sick. It's double standards. Because on one side of the story, it's like, no, don't come near me. You're a monster. I hate you. I don't want you anywhere near me. And on the other hand, it's look at my jugs.
But that's, no. But
So yeah, but she can't help herself, can she?
but that was the terror. That's why they were both, her and Mimi, were afraid, because they know these exist. They've obviously known people that this has
I
happened to.
wonder the amount of fear that Mimi showed. I wonder if Mimi has had, like, you know, a closer encounter with an angel,
There's something's happened, or it's just inbuilt,
as in the fact that she has landed in an angel's clutches before.
or is it just an inbuilt fear? You know, because it's part of nature, the time fruits. We don't know, but it doesn't need to be explained. We just know what it is.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was explained a little bit more, but if not, fair enough. There's fan theories, there's headcanon.
Yeah, but this is what I miss about entertainment, about stories, is there needs to be enough room left for you to fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
That's how, and everyone will do it differently. That's what creates discussions.
That's why I
That's
say
what keeps the show alive.
yeah, it's like I say, it's one of the things I don't like about a lot of modern programming is the fact that they like. It's not like it's almost like, you know what? I think just in case, like, well, right, we're showing this horror, this thriller, this drama, whatever, just in case it might kind of, like, you know, cause people a bit of stress because they're guessing about things and they don't know what's going to happen. We need to spend the first 15 minutes of it explaining everything, so that when it happens later on, they'll know it's coming and it's not going to cause them any worry. I hate that. I really hate that.
They miss the magic of why, and this is why they're rebooting everything, because they're trying to recapture the magic. They don't understand storytelling, but they're just cannibalizing every IP that exists.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't work because it's like, yeah, we're going to remake this film. They will remake that film, but in remaking it, they will take so much of the stuff out of it.
We're looking at you, Death Note 2017.
It's like then it's like, right, okay, we can't have Light as some kind of like evil villain who uses everyone around him for his own gains, right? That's like that's hateful. That is, it's borderline misogynistic. That is. So we'll swap it around and we'll make it so the villain is actually his girlfriend, who is controlling him from the ground up.
I thought you were going to say from the ball sack up.
I thought about it, which is why I stammered. It's right, and it's like right, and I'm like, okay, right. It's right. Does the world have room for the story that is Death Note 2017? Right. The answer is yes, but it is not. No matter how much they claim, it is not, and it will never be Death Note. Because although there are a lot of similarities between the original Death Note and Death Note 2017, the way it acts out is completely different. It's like going like, it's like, right then, I'm going to put on, right, you know what, I'm going to put on me and my friends, we're going to put on we're going to put on a play. We're going to do Hamlet, yeah. And then when everybody comes to see Hamlet, what you're actually doing is Macbeth, and you just turn and go, "Oh, well, it was written by the same bloke, wasn't it?"
But they've done that with the classics as well. They've completely, they've made it for a modern audience and ruined it. Anyway, this, like I said, this is an example of great storytelling, and there's enough explained that you get the intensity and the, carries you along the plot, but also there's enough mystery that makes you want to talk about it. And that's the way things used to be, and it was so much better, because that's how you became a fan of a franchise. That's how they became long-standing. That's how they stood the test of time.
Yeah, that's how you managed to get beyond season 1 of a season by making it interesting enough that the people wanted more.
Mm-hmm. but there's so much there that you're like, and other things you're like, nah, don't care. But how did she survive? I can't remember how she survived.
Right. The angel basically carries her out the building, yeah. And they're flying around, and the angel is biting chunks out of her because apparently the way angels destroy immortals is they ingest them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking like, oh no, she's going to get bonked to death, but no, he actually eats her.
It's part of once again, it's a very
He eats her physically, not in the sexual way.
it's almost like the sex is a disarming tool.
Yeah, but it's like she they end up in a park. Yeah.
Oh, it was a trunk. Yes, it was a tree trunk.
Right, which is where he's ripping chunks out of her shoulder with his teeth, and she pushes him backwards up against a tree, impaling him through the chest on a branch, and impaling herself because she's shorter through her shoulder. And it's basically enough to kill him, and he basically turns into ash and just collapses, and this like red marble rolls out onto the floor.
Yep, the time fruit,
which is a time fruit, which has ingested human blood or something like that.
mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
And then this is where
great stuff.
Yep, and this is where Apos appears to Rin, and I don't believe Rin has met Apos yet. I think Apos knows who Rin is, but I don't think Rin knows who Apos is.
I'm trying to remember. God, I'm trying to remember what he says to her. They do have like a few lines of dialogue with each other.
Oh, does she know who? No, she does know who he is. Sorry, that's my mistake. She does know. Yeah, it's obviously they've got history. I'm getting mixed up because the third episode is so intense. That's the one that's stuck in my head. It's sort of overrode the first two. Yeah, but this is where we find out, Apos has his own agenda. He's potentially an angel, but he doesn't seem to have turned out the same way.
It's like he hasn't. He hasn't. How can I put this? He doesn't have his own fruit of time. It's like he takes the fruits of time out of people who have them.
Yeah, but
and
we don't see that in the third one. We don't see that in the next episode. He has the same ability as the assassin. So that golden sort of able to move through material world, he has that same ability. So there's definitely, we're getting set up that there's history there. There's a story there to be told. We're just not getting told it right now. And this has been going on forever. We'll get that impression too. They keep encountering each other. Game being played at a different level as opposed to just daily life. But the end of that's quite decent. She gets the stamp, comes back to the professor. He decides then, because he knows he just has to sell one of them and he'd have his whole life back again. So he decides he's going to give that a go. Not live his life of exile, No, it's decent. A good episode. Like I said, I like the fact that we know the universe is there. We're just getting drip fed more about it and the bigger game that's in play.
You've been drip feeding us. We need to know more.
Well, that's why.
Did you watch the ending credits of this one? Of the series in general, they're good, and both the credits are really good.
The reason I did it because obviously we had to change services because our old service closed down, and the the news service only has the episodes in Japanese, or sorry, it's only listed in Japanese, so I had to like get the translations
Oh wow!
for the notes. But yeah, this one and the third one, flowers don't shed tears. I know this one. This one got me more than the other two. I think
Suddenly,
because
suddenly stuff gets dark.
mm,
I did have to rewind. I did have to like jump back to the beginning though to look at the date.
that's what I did because I thought it was this was like 20 years in the future. Then I went back and went, okay, 1990, 1991. Now we're jumping 20 years. I thought there was like going to be the same time jump, but they haven't done that. It's different, and that's what we're going to have to watch out for the next episodes. Just to get an idea. So this is jumped 20 years since the events of the Angel. I'm gonna start off with a house getting blown up and a shipping tanker getting hijacked. So there's obviously something to play here. You know, they're connected, and Cookie's just an old hand now.
It's like
they're basically family at this point. You know,
it's like time hasn't been kind to him, but he seems to be doing all right.
well, still, 20 odd years working, you know, in that sort of like private end sort of world.
He looks very he does look very 40-ish though.
Mm-hmm.
Growing into a dapper gentleman, wife, young son.
I'm getting conscious of my age right now, and then I don't feel like I'm living a healthy enough life. And then I see some people my age, and I'm like, "Whoa, actually, I'm all right."
That's what I'm 55, sitting here talking about cartoons. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But it's like
the ravages of time upon me, and I'm like,
it's kind of like I've got to be like it made me smile to see that Koki, who is just some basically clone of some other guy who was created with like without any kind of real purpose, now has a family to call his own.
mm-hmm.
It's awesome. It's great. It's a really nice turn for like an anime of this kind of thing, that one of the characters has moved on. He's living his own life. He's got his own ideals. He's got someone he loves. He's got a family. The alarm bells are ringing.
Yep, and but he's still got, you know, he stayed with the agency. He still stays with Rin and Mimi. You know, they're a team. You know, it's never like he's not an add-on. They even did that from the second episode, and like I said, I just love the fact they did that. Where a lot of other stuff, he'd just be a joke.
Yeah, he'd just be a character in the background, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm. But he's not. So, we then get this strange girl appears, and that's the first time we see like an anime schoolgirl type character.
I think it's the fact that she's dressed as a French maid that makes her seem like that.
She sticks out like a sore thumb, you know what I mean? But she tells Rin that the flowers of death are going to bloom in Tokyo, like a premonition.
By the way, if you ever go to Japan, go to Tokyo, you'll be amazed at how many young women, let's get the age group right, there are walking around the streets dressed as French maids.
Okay, if it makes them happy.
Yeah, because this is like the maid cafes.
I don't want to be accused of being that, you know, instead of the change beware of perverts to beware of Collins. I don't want to be putting that looking around going, wow. Can't this be true? You know, like, nope.
Only true hardcore anime fans going to maid cafes. This is why I've never been in one. They scare the hell out of me.
No, that would be, yeah. any sort of intense fandom, I'm not there for.
I don't want the heart drawing on my son. I don't want like the Mochi Mochi Q thing. Thank you very much. But yeah, so it's a random girl dressed as a maid with a warning that Rin doesn't understand. And doesn't get a chance to ask twice because literally no later than the fact that this young woman tells Rin that the flowers of death are coming and they're going to bloom over Tokyo, that she throws herself off the roof of the building they're both standing on.
Yeah. So straight away, that starts off in intensity. It's something big. Is coming. She goes to Tamatsu, and he's now assistant chief detective. So
Jesus. So obviously his wife didn't find out what he'd been doing on that day then. It's the bit where she's like, would you like me to tell everybody what you were doing last year? No, I'll find you the information you need. So that's back in episode
1, yep.
Yeah, the lad has done well for himself.
I think he was always going to do it for her, you know what I mean? But I think the threat sort of it makes it legitimate. The threat, the blackmail makes it legitimate.
Yeah. But you could ask yourself the question, like he's now like assistant director, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How much of that assistant chief, sorry. Did Rin have anything to do? Could information from Rin have had anything to do with that?
Absolutely. If you're like it's not like he's incompetent, he's resourceful too. So how do you get there? You have a massive, you solve crime, you make busts, high profile, that's the way it works. So yeah. But once again, it just shows he hasn't just stood still. He's not just scrubbing detective 20 years later. He's moved on. He's competent. Ren cultivates the right people. So there's respect for the people that she approaches for information because she doesn't pick worthless people, if that makes sense. And she brings the right people in there confident. That just makes her good at her job. So straight away, there's a level of competence there that makes you more supportive of the character as well. You root for her because you see through the hero who they bring into their lives, who they rely on shows a lot about them. And like I said, just showing her, she's a competent investigator. She's done her job right. But this is all going back to the end of World War II, isn't it?
It is.
Yep, because there's a couple, there's this research, it leads this research. So Rin actually goes and poses as her own granddaughter to visit Yoshi to try and find out what this was about.
So which asks you the question, just how long has Rin been immortal?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We've already dropped hints, like with Apos and the assassin, that this has been going on ad infinitum, like could be hundreds of years, could be 100. But we're now getting an idea. Once again, we're being drip fed the scale where normally you have this dopey exposition at the start. I have been alive for 500 years, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay. It'd be told every minute just to remind you.
It's been 84 years.
Look at the Highlander series.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case you forgot they were immortal, they told you every 2 minutes. I hate, like I said, that's an example of a bad show, just but
exposition. What exposition?
no, just once again, exposition, crap storytelling. Where this is just, it's using the plot. It's serving dual purposes. It's bringing you into the universe even more. It's giving you an idea of the scale. Could that be the end of it? You know, I mean, could that be the beginning? How long's the tree been there? We don't know. How do we? You know, we'll find out. If the tree's been there since the dawn of time, why aren't there immortals all over the place? Because of the angels. So it's always kept in balance. So maybe this tree has been there since the beginning of civilization, but because of we now know that it self-regulates, so that because eventually time fruits would enter every woman, wouldn't it?
Mm.
And every woman would be immortal. So that would make sense. So the angels self-regulate. It's all about ecosystem.
Or there must be some kind of like prerequisite to become an immortal. Maybe
we don't know.
it's
We don't know.
I mean, the fruit may not work on everyone.
Well, we don't know that yet. But we know that the fruit has to physically enter the body. And even though they're floating about all the time, it doesn't always happen. Or is it a particular time of year it blooms?
They just seem to pass through people, though.
Yeah, but it's at a certain point it lodges, and that's what makes the immortal or the angel. But like I said, we know something happens. We don't know what. We're made aware of it without getting explained to the nth degree. So there's still an element of mystery that makes you want to keep watching this to find out. But I mean, this is where we find out that this is all relating to Yoshi had been involved in studying what was known as the equinox disease. It was like the last basically the V2 rockets Germany was developing at the end of the Second World War. This was their idea to fight back. But obviously at the end of the war, then the Americans come in, they took over the island. Well, it's supposed to have destroyed the island.
But they haven't. And there's an old biological weapons. Oh, hang on, doesn't the biological weapons base belong to the Americans?
No, the Americans took over. And they were meant to have leveled the whole place. But something else came in, like another organization, and they managed to hide it from the map. So it's not governments. It's a dark organization. And that's what these linked to these terrorists.
Damn you, Umbrella.
Something like that. Yeah, basically it's equivalent to the Umbrella organization. So what they've decided is that they're going to basically release this virus onto the world. All over. And they're going to use basically the targeting. The reason the house was blown up because the guy there was a ornithologist. He was busy tracking migratory birds, and he stumbled upon this, and then they not only killed it, but they decided to use his research to use the migratory birds to affect them with the disease because they don't appear on radars. So
it's a great plot. I can't wait to see how the plot expands. Because we know it's got to somehow. I mean, they can't have put something this complicated into it just to use it as a throwaway.
No, but that's what I mean. This is done cleverly. It's just letting you know that as long as time's going on, there's always been these organizations always popped up. Is that why we need immortals? You know, is that their job? Or we don't really we know like Redden, for example, she doesn't mean to get into these cases. She just does.
She has no choice.
She'd rather be just getting a paycheck, finding out about adultery or something, or missing cats, or easy stuff gets done and just lets her get on with her life.
So just say, when it starts and she's facing the cats, she's chasing cats, you're like, you know exactly where this is going. I know exactly what this is going to be about, and then it just completely like chucks you off the bus.
Yep. There's another thing. Mimi still has the same dog, and it's 20 years later, and nothing said about it.
Or is it just a dog that looks like the same dog?
It's just the same breed. I don't know. It doesn't get mentioned. But there's another question.
Maybe, total headcanon here, it's the only dog in the world that actually has like a time fruit inside it.
Possible.
In which case, it must be a lady dog, because if it was a boy dog, it would only have lasted 3 weeks.
Yep. So does this happen not just in humans but in nature? We don't know. Or
We don't know.
maybe just like that breed of dog.
It's one of those questions. Like, hang on a minute. Does that mean like if a dog could become an immortal, a dog could become an angel?
Yes. As I said, this could be happening all throughout nature.
Would immortals find themselves being attacked by dogs in the street for no reason?
No, I think it'd be species. I think it'd be just its own species. It would make sense. But once again, I don't believe that's an oversight. I believe that's a choice to show us a dog and let us know this is set 20 years. And if you're thinking, you know, that a dog's lifespan, especially larger dogs barely last 10 years. Larger dogs don't have as long a lifespan as smaller dogs.
This is true.
Most you'll get out of dogs maybe 18 years if you're lucky. You know, depends on the breed and how lucky, you know, how healthy they are. And this dog's showing no sign of being an old dog, you know, and on its last legs. So I thought that was an interesting thing to put in there to make you, if you're paying attention, you know what I mean, to the universe, it's something to make you think about.
Can't wait to see where this story is going to go.
Yep. This is where we find out about the Cadal. That's the group that's wanting to basically end the world. And we also meet Ciara, who is also immortal and somebody from Rin's past who have encountered before. But we also get another tidbit because if you're sick before the time fruit enters you, it doesn't heal you. So if you've been missing a limb before the time fruit enters you, you still miss that limb. If you've got a disease, you'll still have that disease, etc., etc.
Gotta be honest, that does suck.
So that's, once again, none of this series is showing immortality to be a positive thing. Useful, yes, but not desirable.
I still think I'll give immortality a skip though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're not making it. Yeah, they're not making it. They're not saying this is the way, you know, you want to be immortal. You're actually seeing the problems that come with it. And from what we've seen, Rin and Mimi are the most adjusted immortals that we've come across so far. They've actually made a happy life, and they're also being productive and are stable. Where we see Ciara, we see Apos, even who we meet, the other girl, they're all twisted. You know what I mean? They're all broken in a sense. This is where Mimi decides she's going to go. I didn't catch out our girl's name, the one that Rin went to get the information.
Did they give her a name?
I don't know. I can't remember.
She went with COVID.
But Mimi goes, she decides she has to go and help Rin. And the only person she knows to go to is her for certain things. And that's where it gets this whole elaborate, like twisted sex thing happening. Cookie's made the watch, and he's told if he doesn't watch, she'll be going through this all for nothing.
Yeah, so if you don't watch, you don't get the prize at the end.
But it's also interesting as well because Koki has not tried to get off with either of them or join in or anything or be pervy about it. He's been respectful.
Mm.
And he's actually not comfortable with this because he sees them like family as opposed to sex objects. So even though, once again, it's just showing the cleverness of this, even though there's a lot of sexual content, even though these are sexual women, they're not sex objects, which is completely different. And they're actually respected. And that scene actually hit it home more that Koki, he's no fan, you know what I mean? He's not comfortable watching this. He thinks Mimi's being violated and he's not happy about it. And that's part of the game. I think she knows that. That's what she's getting off on, is Koki being as uncomfortable about Mimi having to do this.
Oh yes, watch it. She's like, if you look at her, she's not even watching what's happening in the room. She's keeping her eyes on him.
Yes. That's, you know, and she's not taking part herself. That's why she brought somebody else. That's what she decided to fixate on. You know what I mean? That's, she'd worked that out before she even met them. She decided that was going to be her price. Which shows that this is somebody like, you know what I mean, twisted. Like, that's not healthy. That's humiliation. That's what she's getting off on in this case. You could understand her having, you know, desires for Rin or whatever else and using that to get it. But this is something else. This is, I think she hates Mimi because, you know, you want the thing you can't have. She knows you can't have Rin because Rin's with Mimi.
There's that kind of feeling about it, isn't there?
And also the fact that they accepted Koki. Like, I bet she keeps tabs on those three. So this is some sort of jealousy being, you know, I mean, perverted jealousy thing being enacted here. She wants to ruin. She's hoping that will plant the seeds to ruin the relationship between the three of them, or something. You know what I mean? It's something more than a sex act. And there's all that underlying, you know, plot there without being explained. Because if that was made today, if it was made by the West, you'd just have it all explained to you, and there'd be no trying to figure it out. There'd be no room for you to try and guess or wonder what the agendas or the motives are, because it'd just be told to you now.
So I love that kind of open storytelling, where they give you the room you need. I mean, it might all be explained in the next episode.
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
No, they might wait, or they might not at all. It's so far, like I said, we're only 3 episodes in. It's only 6 episodes, but
I know we've only got next one. Like you say, the next time we meet will be it.
That's frustrating. Because this is the sort of stuff I want to watch. It's really good. There's so much to unpack. But this is obviously to get the helicopter then, that's what we're bargaining for. To get access to the helicopter to get them to the island. Koki gets shot. No, I mean he frees Rin because obviously she was captured.
Yeah. So she was captured, she was tortured, and she's now tied to the bow of a cargo ship.
Mm-hmm.
And they just happen to see her on the way out.
It's weird. The mech suit thing. I didn't buy the mech suit thing.
I couldn't. Right, we see a scene earlier on where the assassin woman is basically wrapped up in a big plastic bag. Struggling to breathe because she's inside a big plastic bag, and Eric comes along, and she's wrapped in bandages as if she's been through some kind of surgery or thing like that, and he's just like sitting on top of her, poking her in the bandages while she's trying to breathe. Oh no, what's he talking to her about? It was one of those scenes where I was like, what?
Yeah, but we know the assassins, like if there's any doubt that the assassins connected the APOS, that's, you know what I mean? But also, they have nothing to do with this plot. This is something else. That's the thing. They're not actually part of this endeavor. They just happen to be there. The assassin just turns up every so often and tries to take out Rin. It's almost like it's a game.
Wearing this weird mech suit.
But the mech suit Sierra has, like the big claws stuff, is I thought that was a wee bit over the top. We hadn't need to go that far, but I suppose because of her condition, it makes sense. Because even though she's immortal, she's still ravaged by the disease. Koki realizes he's about to die, and what he had done before he left was he had kept the time fruit from the previous angel, the one that was
Hang on a minute. I've just realized something.
What's up?
When the angel died, when the angel in the last episode died,
Yep.
and turned to ash, his time fruit fell out. Yeah. Koji gave it to the man who became the angel's sister, who kept it. Who did Koji marry?
Oh God, yes, that would make sense.
That's why he didn't keep the time fruit. She did, because if you remember, there's a scene where they're talking.
Yes,
yeah, they're talking,
sorry.
and
That's
the camera looks at the top of like a cabinet, and there's a photograph of the guy who became the angel. What was his name? Tadahiro. I think it was Tadahiro. It was Tada something. But there's a
Yuki
picture
was
of him.
Yuki was the sister.
Hmm.
Can't remember.
So I think he married the sister.
God, I completely, because I watched this a few days ago, so like
I watched the last one this afternoon.
all right, well there you go.
Yeah, because there's a scene at the end. There's a scene at the end where she like picks up like the ring case that they kept it in, and she opens it. Like the time fruit is gone. She just collapses to her knees.
Yeah, because she knows what's going to happen. Yeah, that would make sense. And marry, yeah, that does. So he married Yuki, and they had a son. Yeah, okay.
Which makes me wonder: is the son going to feature in the next one?
Possibly, or would Yuki not want them to have anything to do with them? Is that the end of their storyline? I don't know.
I don't know.
But Koki effectively basically turns himself into an angel. So it shows that anybody can, or if you put the time fruit in correctly or at the right angle or something, if it lodges, becomes one. So he takes care of Sierra.
I'm a scene coming up made me laugh, but I like the way, like you say, he takes hold of Sierra.
No, he does it afterwards. No, doesn't he get rid of? He helps Rin escape first.
He got hold of Rin and says, "Rin, while I still remember my humanity," and he just basically carries her away from the ship, drops her in the sea, and then flies back to the ship.
That happens in that sequence, because then that falls on the.
Then he beats the crap out of the assassin woman, and the assassin woman is kind of like, "Oh my God, take me now." So he does, and while they are performing on the floor of the the bridge of this ship, Apos appears, and he just walks up to the pair of them, dips his hand inside Coach's back between where his wings have popped out, and just pulls the time fruit out of him.
Mhm.
And he just kind of stops what he's doing and just turns into a pile of dust, which does not please the assassin woman.
No, and then he does the same to her. Or not the assassin woman, Sierra. The assassin woman's different.
I'm sorry. Like, no, don't stop, she says to the cloud of dust. Yeah. But yeah, wow, it's like when Athos walks outside, he has a bit of a soliloquy, and he drops. He doesn't deliberately drop. He accidentally drops the time fruit from Koji overboard into the sea.
It was special because I had 2 sets of blood on it.
Yeah, but he drops it, and then he's like, after he drops it, he's like, oh well, never mind, yours will do. And he rips the one out of the assassin. She dies, turns into a pile of dust.
Mhm.
And then he kind of like cracks it open, and the juice from the inside of it falls into his mouth. And he's like, still too young. Oh, I really want to taste Rins. And that's pretty much the last thing that Apos says in this episode.
So he's waiting for Rim to ripen.
Yeah. That's where I've got. This is where I've got the idea from. He isn't an immortal. I mean, like, like Apos is a guy, yeah, but he's not an angel. I don't think he has a time fruit inside him.
He eats them.
I think he's trying to put time fruit into people so that he can harvest them. And if he's an immortal, that's where he gets his immortality from.
But he's also realized that these taste nice. It gives him pleasure. So go right back to the first episode. That girl that he has in the chair with all the knives, eventually he's going to take her time fruit out of her. She's going to get to a point, and we don't know how long she's been there. But eventually she's going to get the time fruit taken out of her, and she's going to get replaced by another.
Yeah.
That's his whole game. Maybe he's setting her up. Rin's going to be the next one in the chair. Who knows? There's a game being played here, and the assassin is there. One day the assassin will succeed. I don't know if she's actually an immortal, or does she have it the same way? You know, does she ingest the fruits? We don't know, but they're different. Their powers are different. The yellow and the way that the move between dimensions is different from the immortals. So, and the fact they can be together and they're not, I mean, he's not an angel, he's not trying to eat her. There's a lot of questions here. But we've got 3 more episodes.
I know, right?
And I'm looking for, honestly, I really am, like I said, really engaged with us. It's a grown-up universe. It's an adult universe. It's clever storytelling and character development. This is just the stuff I look for.
I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. There are no better storytellers than the Japanese.
No, that's there's a reason why now you go to a comic book store, 10% are Western comics and 90% are manga.
Yeah.
Because everyone's sick and tired of, at one point it was the other way around. Manga niche. But because in the West we have lost our way with storytelling.
It's like, what's it, Waterstones. Other bookstores are available. It's like our local Waterstones, you go upstairs and there used to be like a shelf full of manga and manhwa, which is like the Korean version.
Mm-hmm.
And like shelves and shelves and shelves, like half a dozen shelves full of like Western comics, Western graphic novels, Batman, Superman, all the heroes like Bone, Cerberus the Aardvark, Sagio Jimbo, you name it, it was there. Graphic novels of films and things like that. Gone. There's like one shelf of Western stuff, and everything else is from the Far East. Even novels.
It's like oh, by the way, Waterstones is quite good because you can also pick up Horrific Tales series there.
Oh,
And
this is true. This is true.
Dale Gibson's and Chris Andrews' books. So yeah, if you happen to be going past, you might want to ask them to get a copy in for you. But yeah, it's available there too. But yeah, it's just an example of, you know, we have lost our way with storytelling, and people say culture doesn't matter. Culture does. Culture is what makes you imagine. If you've got an imagination, you can solve problems. If you don't have an imagination, you just tick boxes. There's a difference between...
Why would you want to sit with your friends and tell stories when you can sit with your friends and play, well, I don't know, Fortnite?
I believe you can do both. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna pan gamers.
I am a gamer. I can pan them.
Yeah. Fair enough, but you know what I mean. I believe you can do both. But if you have,
I believe, right? I believe in equality. I shit on everyone.
but you know where I'm coming from.
Yes.
There's entrepreneurship and bureaucracy. We need a little bit of bureaucracy, but we need a lot of entrepreneurship. And that's how inventions happen. That's how we move forward. And we're not moving forward. We've stood still and we're going in reverse now. And like I said, you're looking at flipping computers and they're getting more bloated and they do shit. And people are just updating for the sake of updating to keep their jobs, but nothing's getting better. We've stopped that. And I believe that's directly linked to having lack of imagination. Everyone's just going through the motions now.
People don't need imaginations these days, because governments and governments and big business and everything will like them. Tells them exactly what they need to think.
But that's why everything's getting worse. I mean, right at its very core, that's the reason. People don't tell stories. They've lost the ability to use their imagination. If you look at the indie writing world, it's all about bureaucracy and control. If you don't use this exact format, that's more important than the story. If you don't use shun formatting and do it exactly the right fonts that's agreeable with the in-group, and they could change that next year because they want it, you know, it's nothing about anything looking good, it's just about being part of the group and you demonstrating your loyalty. You know, I mean, it's more than just, it's nothing to do with actually just people having an imagination, people trying to control. And I've seen it now that I've entered the publishing world, that bureaucracy, if that makes sense, that's being self-generated, because that's the culture. The culture is a bureaucratic one at the moment in the West, and not just storytelling, and everything has to be formulaic by the numbers. Well, that's not creativity. Now, I'm not saying everything's going to be fantastic if it's all well, but you always get that hidden gem. If you lose that opportunity, you get the hidden gem. So we're seeing our own entertainment, people being policed and self-policed at the, you know, at the lowest level to the highest level, and it's killed. Look at the, you know, I mean, if there wasn't big investors, you know, and people putting big hedge funds and that, putting money into these companies, a lot of them would be gone by now. Like, I'm talking about the big corporations, putting in the seed capital, they'd be gone because nobody's banned them. They're producing the stuff, but nobody's banned. Not enough people because they're turned off. That they don't. But you look at stuff like this, it's still getting made. It's still getting made to a standard. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there too, but there's enough of that stuff being made that people's imaginations are being fired up, and that's only a good thing. You look at the way, look at even Japan with the technology, the way they've embraced it. Like, they're well ahead. Tokyo's like the golden the golden jewel in the crown, you know, the jewel in the crown sort of thing. But we have, because we've lost that basic ability to tell stories and to use our imagination, we're in the shit and everyone's unhappy. I just hope this, by highlighting good stories, and somebody might watch this who maybe hasn't before, and it'll spark something in them, and
Yeah.
they'll try something. Yeah, not everyone has to be a writer. Not everybody has to be a storyteller. Not everybody has to be a filmmaker. Not everybody has to be an animator. But you have to have an imagination. And if you ignite your imagination, you don't know where that's going to lead you. There'll be that one problem will appear, and you'll be the only person that will solve it because you've kept this alive. You've kept it subtle, and you just don't go into the box ticking mode. You actually find your way around it, and it's worth having that. Just the that's how we progress. That's how we get geniuses. That's how we get inventions. That's how we move forward. But there you go. Lecture over. This is a really good series, and I can't wait to do the next ones. Looking forward to it.
I know, but that means the next time we come here, all over.
Yep. Unless we'll see how it ends. While they've left the
Unless
door
we
open.
discover there's like, but is it going to be a full stop, or is there going to be a second series?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But there you go, mate. Thanks as always for coming on. This was a good one. And
well, this one was fun this time.
Yep, definitely. Well worth it. If you haven't, links in the description. Check it out. It's well worth it. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. I just need to say, until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the type of clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.